Morning, everyone. How are we? Hope you're well. I'll turn that down. That's a bit bright, isn't it? Hang on. How do you like it? My new live on air neon sign that I got off Temu. Yeah, I've started. I'm as bad as Fuller, everyone. I'm on Temu. I got that. It was about $20, $20-something. It's not too bad either. When you see it up close, it's pretty good quality. Me live on air. So hope you're all having a good Easter so far, everyone. And I've got a poll up there, and it's not looking real good at the moment. I said, are you watching this live feed from a camp spot? I know one person who will, if he tunes in. He's at a camp spot as we speak. Is Russ from the Townsville Chiefs, guys. He's up at Rolling Stone at the moment with the family. Down there, bloody trying to catch a fish with the kids. So Russ is definitely out camping. He might cotton on that I'm on live this morning. Jack Turtle's on, Timmy Ryan, Lukey Reed. Lukey Alexander was first on this morning, everyone. G'day, both Lukes. How are yous? Logan Ollett. G'day, mate. How are you? Happy Easter. Yeah, happy Easter, all you guys. You're kidding. Here's Gidgy. Hang on. Hello. Yeah, good. I just went live a minute ago. Are you on your way up home, are you? Yeah, righto. Okay, well, I'll give you a ring later. Safe travel. See you, mate. Gidgy. 1 minute into my live feed, he rings me. Gidgy's been at Early Beach, everyone. He's just had brekkie with Mick, who provided all the alcohol, remember, from the Early Beach Hotel. Mick doesn't own the Early Beach Hotel anymore, but Mick provided a whole pallet of beer and wine for the Legends for Charity, and Gidgy's just went out on Mick's beautiful boat yesterday in the Whitsundays, and he's just about to jump in the Raptor and head up to Townsville to see Mum, and his son Nuddy is home, and I think Nuddy and Ken are both coming up here, guys, to spend a night in Innisfail or a couple of nights in Innisfail. So there's going to be some good cook-ups coming up with me and Gidgy all going well. So that's the plan. I spoke to Nuddy yesterday, and their plan is to come up here and fire the Weber up and have a few cook-ups. So that'll be good. So anyway, Ken's on his way up for both holidays, a week of leave, Easter leave, and then he's got a week of work up here too with the NBN. He's doing some work with the NBN up here, which it's good. He gets to see Mum and that. So anyway, I'll give him a bell after the live feed. Well, I was just saying g'day to everyone. When Aussie's on, Aussie, you'll be pleased to know I'm not going to do any politics this morning, mate, because I knew you and who's the other one? I'll think of his name in a minute. Get very, very upset when I rubbish Trumpy. So we won't talk about that this morning. Jared Hands on. G'day, Jared. Hope you're well. Hope you're enjoying your Easter, mate. So no politics this morning, everyone. We'll keep it all lighthearted. The kids can join in. There'll be no swearing, all that type of stuff. So family-friendly one this morning. Craig's the other one. Craig Tompkinson. He gets upset when I talk about the big orange fella too. Anyway, so we're not going to talk about that stuff this morning. Ivan and Lisa. But the roads, yeah, Aussie, exactly right, mate. Our vehicles have to be roadworthy, but the roads aren't roadworthy. Yeah, you're exactly right, mate. The roads in this country are a disgrace. You know what? I keep saying it. They're out there. I wasn't going to talk politics. They're out there at the moment promising the world, everyone. When you can't get the big stuff right, if you can't get the little stuff right, if you start getting the little things right, the big stuff will follow. And I was taught that in the army. Get the little things right. If you don't get the little things right, how can you expect other things to go according to plan? Nail the little stuff on the head, do it, do the jobs, do them well, and then it follows on. This country can't do simple things anymore. I'm going to give you a classic example in a minute, everyone. G'day, Ty. Ty's on. Hope you aren't eating too many Easter eggs this morning. Hope the young kids all woke up to an Easter egg hunt this morning. I forgot what I was talking about because I just thought of something. I remember one Easter when I was living in Western Australia. Now, it would have been 98, 99, 2000, something like that, when I was posted in the army over in Perth. We used to go camping to a little place called Dwelling Up, beautiful camp spot down in the southwest of West Aussie. And back then, we just camped in little dome tents, guys. Just did it simple. Couple of chairs, a little frying pan and a butane stove or cooker on a fire, and just a little 4-man dome tent from Kmart. That was the best camping to me, all this fancy stuff and all that. Back then, you're actually camping. You pitched a tent and just roughed it a bit. Get out of your comfort zone. It was Easter morning. I don't know exactly how many, 20-something years ago now. Anyway, Lauren woke up. Lauren was only a little girl. And we hid Easter eggs throughout the bush, all around the campsite. The little ones, all through to big ones, and rabbits and stuff. And Lauren had an absolute ball. Phil was an older kid then, so Phil got some eggs. But Lauren actually got to do an Easter egg hunt out when we were out camping in the bush. And we had them in forks of trees and, all that type of stuff. I still remember that. Lauren was just so excited about finding all her Easter eggs and Easter bunnies and all that type of stuff. And we hid it all around the campsite in the bush. And I still remember that. You always remember little simple things like that. And the kids don't forget it. Lauren still remembers it. She was old enough to remember. Phil still remembers it. We still talk about those camping trips when they were kids down to Dwelling Up and honeymoon pools and that down in the southwest of West Aussie. And that's why I keep encouraging, take your kids out camping when they're young, guys, because they will remember it for the rest of their life. It sticks up here. They remember all the good stuff, hey. They remember the fun stuff. They really do. So if you're out camping now, here we go. I said on my first poll, I did a poll before I even started, are you watching this from a campsite? It was 100% said no. We're down to 84. So that's good. So it means a few of you are out camping at the moment. If you are out camping for Easter, and a lot of people are, let's face it, 4-day weekend, for a lot of people that work, everyone, that's the big weekend of the year. Maybe Christmas time, but it's usually too hot at Christmas to go camping. But Easter is always really the start of the camping season here in Australia. That's when the weather's starting to cool down a bit. It's even camping weather here, and we're going soon as well. Me and Roz are off in about 2 weeks, guys, on our first camping trip. So it's a little bit warmer up here than down there. But I'm sure down south at the moment in Victoria, New South Wales, Marky Lavelle was around a campfire last night at someone's birthday party, which is good. Mark is on. Hey, Mark, how are you, mate? Saying g'day to Jennifer and Jack. Yeah, so those camping trips at Easter time are unbelievable. And as I said, it's the only long weekend some people get throughout the year. So everyone makes the most of it. I think Steve and Annie are out around a campfire at the moment. How are the Wild Peaks going? Oh, good, Jared. Good. It's been raining the whole time up here. And, mate, they seem really – I feel confident. I've had no slippage going around corners or anything yet. I do drive carefully, obviously. But they're going all right, mate. I think like any all-terrain, if I got out into the mud, they'd be ordinary because they're not a real aggressive tread pattern, mate. I don't think they'll be real good in the mud. But I think on the gravel roads and all that, they'll be fine. It's one of those pros and cons, eh? Everything's got pros and cons. So, but certainly on the road, they feel good. They feel real good. Pete McMurtry, we have the Grandies with us camping at Lucinda Beach, just finishing up breakfast. Then comes down the beach for fishing. Good times. Good on you, Pete. Enjoy, mate. At Lucinda. So Pete's at Lucinda, which is near Ingham, everyone, which was flooded recently. So Pete's out there. The barra should be on the go, mate, after the floods, hopefully. Craig saying here at Karoi, the hundreds of four-wheel drives and caravans and boats going north on the 4 lanes was unreal for a few days. Yeah, I can imagine, Craig. But as I said, mate, that is 4 days off is some like tradies and it's the only big long weekend some people get. They might get a 2 and 3, but that 4 days, they think, all right, we'll get up there on the Friday, come home on the Monday afternoon. So it's a chance for people to get out with the family. I can imagine just how busy it must be down south. Not so much up here. I booked in to a place yesterday and they didn't even need a down deposit. Usually in the busy times up here, you'll have to pay a deposit to get into a spot, but we didn't even need it. So all the Southerners haven't started coming up yet, but it won't be long. And during the dry season, which hasn't started yet, people heading to Cape York and all that, we usually see a lot of people coming through here. Saw a video, 1770 boat ramp on Friday, boats and trailers everywhere for kilometres. Wow. Yeah, I can imagine camping Oz. 1770, nice spot. But isn't it just getting, I don't know. I wouldn't like to live down South Queensland anymore. It's just too overpopulated for me now. Yeah, I only speak to my brother about the traffic down there now. He said it is just mayhem. And they want to build another 15,000 homes or 100,000 homes. Where do you reckon they're going to build all those homes, guys, when they make these promises? In the cities. So they're going to get even bigger and even busier and put more pressure on the infrastructure like sewerage, water, roads, all that type of stuff. Why do they keep building up the cities? They're big enough as it is. I don't know why they keep doing that. Start building up the smaller country areas. Some of the bigger towns like Toowoomba, Mackay, Rockhampton, in Queensland, Bendigo, Ballarat and all that. All your bigger country towns and that. Start building up infrastructure and all that out there. Try and get more employment out into the country, everyone. I'll tell you now, I know where I'd rather live. If you had employment out in some of the country areas, you'd rather live out there. Better lifestyle for the kids, cheaper housing, less traffic. You know what I mean? Just a better lifestyle all around than living in the big, busy cities. Some people thrive on living in busy cities. You'll never see me live in a city ever again. When I lived in Brisbane, when I was in the army for 4 years, 94 to 98, the traffic was okay back then. It was nothing like what it is now. It's just mayhem now when you go down there. Absolute mayhem. I said g'day to Ty, haven't I? Yeah. So 84% aren't camping at the moment, but that's fine. That's fine. I mean, 16%ers out there are sitting around a campfire or having brekkie, like Pete McMurtry, Big Russ from the Townsville Chiefs guys, Steve and Annie out there enjoying their Easter camping. I didn't go. Me and Roz didn't go for one main reason is because, the good thing about being retired now, everyone, if we want to go for a camping trip now, Roz and I, we can go from Monday to Friday and just almost have places to ourselves during the week. It's good, and you don't have to go on the weekend. So that's one good thing about being retired is that you can go and do things during the week when it's not so busy, and it's good. But I know a lot of you aren't there yet. Got a lot to talk about this morning. No politics, but guys, I promise it's going to be one that we all agree, and we don't have any online arguments because I'm talking about all that silly stuff that goes on in the news, which is dominating the news, let's face it. But we got some good stuff to talk about this morning that I think we'll all like to listen into. So now let's get into the footy scores. If you're an Aussie Rules player, look away now. I think the Gold Coast Suns lost their first game last night against Richmond in the Aussie Rules. So the Gold Coast sound like they're going all right. And I think Brisbane Lions lost their first game for the year and got touched up by Collingwood. So the Lions come back down to earth with a thud. Jack Turtle saying it's a madhouse here in Hervey Bay now. I don't think it's anything like Brisbane, Jack, but yeah, mate, when I lived in Hervey Bay back in 1980, 81, it was a sleepy little country town. And now it's, a lot of people have moved up to Hervey Bay, mate, haven't they? I like Hervey Bay. I reckon it's a nice place. It really is. I still rather live in Hervey Bay than Brisbane, mate, let me tell you. The weather in Hervey Bay is very good. And I don't know, it's a nice, quiet place. I tell you, if you had a boat or a jet ski, you just hang around on the west coast of Fraser Island. It's beautiful. Some of the beaches up there on that west side of Fraser are absolutely stunning. And it's not when you get out of the Harvey Bay boat ramp, not at Urangan there, mate. It's, within 10 minutes you can be over on the west coast of Fraser, just with a nice little beach to yourself. Incredible. AFL is the only game you get a point if you miss. Absolutely, Aussie. I keep saying that, and it upsets the Bics when I say that too. Yeah, Roy Smith saying crazy Yamba. Now, that's another place I like down in northern New South Wales. Yamba, beautiful place. I love Yamba. That is a really, really nice place. I can imagine all that southeast Queensland, northeast New South Wales, all those beaches are going to be very, very busy. All the New South Wales places are beautiful, aren't they, along the beach? But I'll tell you what, as you get south of Sydney, those beaches down there, less people and more beautiful beaches, they really are. Even Byron Bay, standing at the lighthouse at Byron Bay and looking out to the ocean and that, it's just incredible scenery. It is stunning. It's magnificent, isn't it? Absolutely stunning. The most eastern point of the Australian continent, guys. And just standing on there's a little walkway from that you can go down to too. It's just amazing. I love it. That whole New South Wales coastline is magnificent. It really is. Yeah, Craig is the one who's been talking about the prostate operation. Craig, one thing I did want to ask you, mate, is how come you've had to have two? Did the first one not work? I was going to ask you about that last week and forgot. One would hope you have it once and it fixes you for the rest of your life, but you've had to have 2 in 11 years. So I'm just wondering, did the first one not work properly, mate, or does it only last for a certain amount of years and your prostate grows back again? You've got to have another one. I don't know. I'm not quite sure, though. Urologist hasn't explained that to me. Wild Track Weekender. G'day, Buck. Spend an Easter, South Coast, New South Wales, bloody ripper. Good on you, Wild Track. And we're just talking about that, the South Coast of New South Wales. Oh, mate, just one of my favourite places. I'll keep saying Bermagui, mate. Bermagui. I got to get back there. Bermagui was beautiful. I love that. Bermagui, Marimbula, Pambula, Eden. What other places are down there? Just absolute cracking places. That was, it's hard to say what the highlight of our trip down there. The Tassie was a highlight too. The Great Ocean Road. Victoria was beautiful, but the weather really killed us in Victoria. We just got shit weather the whole time in Vic, but that New South Wales, that southern coast and that was stunning. I just, Narooma, all those places, mate, a whole lot of them. Urunga was a nice place too. Dave Kidman, currently at Urunga, beautiful but pretty busy. Awesome spot right near the river inlet, near the boardwalk. Good stuff, mate. Urunga. I got to find. If there's one thing I regret getting rid of my old channel, guys, is I've lost all the YouTube clips of that trip. And I think we stayed at Urunga. I can't remember where it is now, if it's south or north, but it's good to go back to those clips sometimes and go, I say to Roz, what was that place where we got the oysters? And, if I had those old YouTube clips, I could go back and re-watch them and keep but I'm starting to forget where places are. Nicky Slade's on. G'day, Nicky, saying g'day to Jack Turtle there. Hey, we'll get back into the footy scores. We'll just quickly go through the rugby league score so far. My team, the Cowboys, guys, had a bye this week, so we won that one. So we pick up 2 points for the bye. Thursday night, Paulie Martin. Is Paulie on? What's happening to your Manly bloody Sea Eagles, mate? Manly Warringah Sea Eagles, 18, St. George 20. Close game on Thursday night. Saints got up. Val Holmes is starting to play good footy, which is good for Queensland. Wish he was still up with the Cowboys. Now, the team that is going great guns, is he on yet? Russ from the Townsville Chiefs. Russ is a massive Doggies fan. Guys, the Bulldogs 32. Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs 32. The Rabbits 0. Not a good omen for Easter, was it? The Rabbits should have got up and won at Easter time, but they got flogged by 32 points. Bulldogs undefeated so far, guys. 6 from 6 on the top of the ladder, clear by 4 points. So Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs going real, real good. Gonna do one day. I love that name. But forget Victoria. You need to go to South Australia. got as far over as Mount Gambier, mate. And then we were going to head further west to Robe on one of those inlets, one of the peninsulas, 2 peninsulas there. We were going to head over to Robe, mate, for a look, and the weather was shite. And Roz and I looked at each other one night and went, we've had enough. Like, we just copped a month of just rain and cold and in Victoria. And then we looked at the weather forecast for Robe, and it was no sign of sunshine for the next week. And Roz and I went, let's start heading north. And we did. We started heading north inland. And as soon as we got over the border into Queensland, it was bloody sunshine again. It was cool, but it was nice. So, yeah, I know, mate. I've been to Adelaide before, and Harndorf, and I've been to a few little places around South Aussie. But South Aussie is one place that I haven't seen a lot of. We drove through South Australia to get over to Perth, mate. So we had to go over Adelaide and then north up to Port Augusta and then back down again to get on the Nullarbor. But that was weird, driving north for hours and hours on end and the ocean's on your left-hand side. That was a weird feeling. Driving north and you're in inland Australia is like nothing. It's desolate and you've got the ocean on your left-hand side and you know you're heading north and the ocean's there. It was a weird feeling heading up to Port Augusta, mate. Anyone done that trip up there where you go from Adelaide up to Port Augusta and then back down again and that got that big inlet, whatever inlet that is? And they can get great white sharks all the way up there, eh? All the way right up at that tip. What great whites get right up in there, hundreds of kilometres. We'll get back on there. Dolphins. Now, Roz and I watched this game on Friday night. Roz was going off. Her Dolphins got up, guys, 42 over the Melbourne Storm, 22. The Storm was without a couple of their players, Harry Grant and Asafa Solomona and a couple others, but they still had Munster in there and that. The Storm got a touch-up. They looked ordinary. They come back down to earth with a and the Dolphins were looking good. The not Redcliffe Dolphins, the Dolphins were looking real good. Now, this game last night, Warriors. Pete McMurtry will be happy about this one. The Warriors 20, Broncos 18. It was 18 all at full time, guys. It went to Golden Point. Reece Walsh had the kickoff. So it's whoever wins the first point wins the game in Golden Point. Reece Walsh takes the kickoff for the Broncos and puts it over the dead ball line on the full from the kickoff. The Warriors had the win behind their back and said, we'll take a penalty kick from halfway. Old mate slots it. Game. It was the quickest Golden Point I've ever seen. Reece Walsh, you diddly donk. He is having a bad year, Reece Walsh. Why on earth did he put it over the dead ball line? It was like, here you go, Warriors, have the game. So I wouldn't be letting him kick off again. Broncos, if I was you. And then last night, Panthers 40, Roosters 12. The Panthers are back, guys. I told you last week, I said, don't write the Panthers off yet. They got off to a bad start. They're going to come good. Well, that was the start of it last night. They did a job on the Roosters. So today we've got the Titans in Canberra. The Knights versus the Sharks. That'll be a good game. And then tomorrow, Easter Monday, we've got the West Tigers taking on bloody Marky Lavell's Parramatta. Mark, you'll be pleased to know that halfback. Oh, my goodness. Mitch Moses. Mitch Moses is back for Parramatta. So they need him badly. They need him back in that team badly. So Tigers, Eels. So we'll see how we go there. Now, I'm going to do another poll soon. This one pissed me off a bit, but maybe I'm old-fashioned. Let's go to this thing. Are you around? So we've got 14 percentiers are out camping at the moment. That's good stuff. Excellent. I'm going to put another poll up. And before I even say my thing, start a poll. Open. Should pubs be open on Good Friday, guys? Start a poll. What do you reckon? Before I have my say, I just want to let this poll go a bit longer. I'll do a few more shout-outs. Should pubs be open on Good Friday in Australia? Have your say. Remember, when you vote on here, guys, no one can tell who's voted yes, who's voted no. So it's all anonymous. I can't tell from my end who's voted yes and no. So we'll see how we go. I had a bit of an argument with Gidgy last night over this very topic, everyone. Over this very topic. And I thought, I'm going to ask everyone tomorrow in the live feed what they think. Who on here has heaps of Land Rovers? Well, I know who does, and his name's Landy Smurf, but I don't know if he's on at the moment. Is Landy on? Nick Taylor. Nick's tipping 0 from 5. That's why I don't go in tipping comps, mate, because I'm like that. I'm hopeless in tipping comps. Absolutely hopeless. And every time I tip against the Cowboys, they win. Every time without fail. Walsh is overrated. He is this year, mate. He is overrated. I don't know what's happened to him this year. Maybe he's not going well at all. I'm not a Reece Walsh fan either, mate. When he's in a maroon jersey, I am. But I'll tell you now, the way he's playing, he shouldn't even be considered. Billy Slater shouldn't even be considering him in a maroon jersey this year. His confidence is down. You can't throw him into Origin when he's struggling in first grade. He needs to get his confidence back, that lad. I'll be putting Kalen Ponga at fullback or the hammer. You got Ponga or the hammer can go at fullback before Walsh. And if Billy Slater puts him in there, Queensland deserve to be beaten. There you are. I've said it. If Reece Walsh was fullback, unless he has 2 outstanding games in the next couple of before Origin's picked, he shouldn't be in the team. Maybe get him in the squad. That might get some confidence back, but I certainly wouldn't be putting him at fullback at the moment. Can't afford to have that in Origin. I know that Cleary and Luai and them will be bombing him all day because his confidence is down. Craig Tompkinson saying, the fam and I are going to South Australia and Western Australia in December for school holidays. Good stuff, mate. Me and Roz might go over to West Aussie again later in the year. We'll see how we go. Got to go over and see my granddaughter now. So I said to Lauren, I'll be over every year to see Macy. So we'll probably go over again. And this time I'm going down to Esperance. Next time I get to West Aussie, guys, I'm going to Esperance. I want them to bring in the thing where you can fly with your dog on a plane so I can take Rafa over with me. Don't like the idea of putting him in a cage, guys, and he frets without us. He fretted on the Spirit of Tasmania in that cage without us. He doesn't do real well when he's not near us, young Raf. He's a bit of a sookie boy. So anyway, speaking of Rafa, the book should be just about here, guys. I'm waiting any day now for Brett to say the books have landed in Australia. So they've got to be getting close now. 20th of April, I think they said around 16th, 17th, the ship should be getting in. So maybe they've already landed and we might get some good news after Easter that the books are rocking and rolling. Let's hope Customs don't play silly buggers with us and just let them get on the courier and get up to us so we can start making some money for charity, everyone. So speaking of which, for charity, I did a clip the other day with Paul from Won't Stand Still. He's got a little YouTube channel over in Western Australia. Paul's keen to get a charity camping event up in Western Australia, guys, but it's at the moment it's falling on deaf ears. And I did an interview, so go to Won't Stand Still on YouTube, and he does a little interview with me, and I put the challenge out to the West Australians. But it's not going to happen until Cam gets back, guys. I think if they're going to run a camping charity event in Western Australia, the big boys aren't going to do it. It'll be Pete from WA Camping, everyone, and Cam when Cam gets back from his trip. I think that's their best bet. And I think if you can get Cam and Pete together, they've got a great community behind them already. I think that's the way to go. I think Paul's trying to get, thinking of getting Harry on board and Ronnie and all that. It's not going to happen, guys. It'd be nice, wouldn't it? But it's not going to happen. They're going to have to rely on Cam and Pete, I think. But anyway, that's up to the West Australians, guys. We know we've got a great camping community over here on the east side, and I can't control what happens in West Aussie. We got a great community going here. Wouldn't it be good to see the Sandgropers pick up the baton and get involved with all us here and start doing a similar thing over there in West Aussie and having campouts for charity and all that? It'd be great to see more of it going on YouTube rather than YouTubers all trying to make money for themselves, try and do something for other people. But unfortunately, it's the way social media's going. When YouTube first started off, when I first got into it, it was a hobby. You went on, it was like a little hobby, like an interest. Now, everyone and his dog wants to get on and bloody make a business out of it, don't they? Everyone wants to get companies on board and get sponsored and get companies to pay for their trip around Australia and all that type of shit. So, yeah. Anyway, we won't go down that rabbit hole either. It gets a bit negative. So I just keep doing what I do, guys. Try and lead by example. Do a bit of stuff for charity. This book thing, I'm really looking forward to that. I am really, really looking forward to that book launch and looking forward to trying to sell all 500 books. And if there's books left over, everyone, that's why I ordered 500. I don't expect to sell 500, but maybe a little company can say I've got 100 books left over. A little company might come on board, buy them at cost price, and then I send those books to Hope in a Suitcase in Tasmania and down in Newcastle on that, so that they can start putting some little raffle books in their suitcases for foster kids and that, everyone. So anyway, that's the plan. Oh, Landy's in Japan. School excursion. Wow, how good is that? Fantastic. Hey? I bet they went, we need some volunteer teachers to go on a school excursion to Japan. I reckon they wouldn't have had to twist his arm real hard, mate. So Landy's over in Japan. Good stuff. It'd be good to have him on. I'm sure he'll come on and do a live feed. Hopefully he can talk about it and let us know what he got up to in Japan, whereabouts they went and what the culture's like over there. That'll be absolutely fantastic. Fantastic for the kids too. What an experience. Hey, going to Japan, you go overseas. It's good to go to another country that's got a totally different culture to what you're used to. It really makes you open your eyes up. I've been to a few of those countries, guys, and it does. It makes you open your eyes up and you go, you know, we rubbish Australia sometimes, don't we? And then you go overseas and you see how other people live and you think, we're not going so bad over here. We tend to whinge, and I think we've got a right to whinge. We should be doing a lot better than what we are. But when you see, I used to live up in New Guinea, guys, and you see how people live up there and you think, my God, and to think this country's only a couple of hours flight from Australia and it's like third world shit. It gets you thinking. Not that Japan's third world, guys, but it's a totally different culture. When are we going to Canberra? Logie, we're going to incorporate the Canberra trip with the camping with mates. Mate, we're going to go down, do the camping with mates, and then probably slip across to Canberra. I want to go to the War Memorial, everyone. That's a must-do for me. I've got to get to the Canberra War Memorial. I want to spend a couple of days there. Haven't been there yet. Can you believe that shit? So anyway, let's get on to this. Good Friday. When I was growing up, everyone, Good Friday. Now, let's face it. When I was growing up as a kid, the majority of this country were of Christian faith. The majority of this country you're either Indigenous or you're a bloody white fella. You know, we had some Italian and Greeks and all that. They're Christians as well. So it was a predominantly Christian country when I was a kid, guys. We still are. I like to think we still are anyway. I'm not a very religious person, everyone. I was brought up, I'm a Roman Catholic. Not a good one, but I am. I'm a Roman Catholic. That's what I was brought up. Went to a few Catholic schools as a kid, Christian Brothers College and all that, and had a great time at the convent schools. It was good, especially Christian Brothers. We were like education was good, and the brothers that ran the school were right into their sport. They were sport crazy. Really was. Like sport was almost a religion when I went through school. It didn't matter what it was. And we used to love taking on the in Warwick. I'm like the state high school and the Bordy Slade and Scots College, and we've taken on the boarding schools and that in rugby league, in cricket, in inter-school sports, the athletics carnivals and that. We took it serious, and we used to do well, Christian Brothers. We quite often won the rugby league, and we quite often won the sports carnivals because we were so competitive, and that's what the brothers instilled in us. I used to love my days at Christian Brothers colleges, mainly because of the sports. Our brothers, I remember brother Joe Hodgkinson, his name was, he'd be dead now. Brother Mark Sayre, a couple other brothers there. They were just sports mad. We get into school and talk about the footy scores in the morning and all that. This is at a thing. And as you know, a lot of the boarding schools and all that are right into their rugby union. Squirrel, I forgot where I was going with that. So, yeah, I was brought up as a Christian. I still consider myself a Christian, everyone. Not a good one, but I still consider myself a Christian. I'm a Roman Catholic, but I don't go to church. I'm like most Australians now. I think religion is dying in this country. I think we've lost interest in it over the years. And I'm not saying that's a good or a bad thing. I don't care. There's a lot of negative stuff that goes with religion. But there's some good stuff too. But hey, it didn't hurt. It didn't kill us as kids to go to church and learn a bit of respect and all that type of stuff. Pubs were always taboo. Pubs never opened on Christmas Day or on Good Friday. And on Anzac Day, they couldn't open until after lunch because of all the stuff, the dawn services, and then the morning march and all that. And then in the afternoon on Anzac Day, then the pubs were allowed to open. But in the morning, no. I'm still a firm believer in that. I'm still a firm believer that on Good Friday, and I'm not going to preach to you here, but the whole idea of Good Friday is when Jesus was crucified, everyone. And I think the meaning behind it, and this started back in the 1800s in Australia, this Good Friday thing, because as I said, everyone was predominantly Christian back in the 1800s and 1900s. Christianity that's how this country was. Friday was when Jesus gave his life up. And I think the whole idea of not eating red meat on Good Friday, which I didn't eat red meat on Friday. That's about the only thing I still do that's religious. I always try and follow that. No red meat on Good Friday. That'll be a poll soon too, everyone. No red meat, and the pubs stay closed. So it's a bit of a respect for our Christianity. If anyone knows another reason why the pubs never open on Good Friday, let me know, will you? But one, it was mainly to do with religion. And it's like you give something away for one day just in memory of what the big fella did on the cross that day for everyone, if you're religious. So that's what we were taught at school. And I'm old school. You know me, I'm an old traditionalist and that. I'm still a royalist. I still like the royal family. That's how I was brought up. And I don't think pubs should be open on Good Friday and Christmas Day, obviously. Both religious days, aren't they? At the end of the day, we think about Easter eggs and hot cross buns. It's the real thing. Easter and Christmas are the two big days in the Christian calendar, aren't they? If you've forgotten. So, pubs used to stay closed. It was taboo. No pubs were allowed to even think about opening on Good Friday. And that's been going on since the mid-1800s, guys. Now, Gidgey sent me a picture the other day from the Airlie Beach Hotel, and he had some big bloody cocktail or something. And I said to him, I sent a message and said, I saw all these pictures from the Airlie Beach Hotel coming up on Facebook. I said, I thought pubs are supposed to be closed on Good Friday. He goes, oh, no, you can have a drink at the Airlie Beach Hotel, but only if you're having a meal. And I thought, oh, here we go, righto. So they're already watering that rule down. So the pub's open for a start, and yet people are drinking if you have a meal. But then he showed up, people are up doing a nut bush dance, and everyone's got a glass of wine and that in front of them. So there goes that. Where's liquor? And that's still the rule, guys. If pubs are open, you can only drink if you're having a meal. And that's apparently the liquor licensing law here in Queensland. Well, where were the liquor licensing branch at the Airlie Beach Hotel on Friday when everyone's drinking piss watching the Nutbush City Limit thing? And even Gidgey said, yeah, that having a drink with a meal is a very loose term. So my belief is pubs should be closed on Good Friday. That's it. It's only one day of the year, and Christmas Day, guys, and Anzac morning. Is that too much to ask? And I got in an argument with Gidgey, and Gidgey goes, why should people that want to have a drink on Friday that aren't religious suffer because all the religious people don't want a thing? This goes back a bit of tradition. Here's my stance. I think pubs should remain closed. Whether you're, who cares? One day of the year or 2 days of the year, or do we just go, nah, stuff religion now, just let the pubs open every day of the year? Like, can we not go for 2 days of the year and not have the friggin' pubs open? Having a pub closed for 1 day is not going to kill the pubs, especially the Airlie Beach Hotel. So, I don't know. I just thought it was poor form. They're watering the laws down, liquor licensing now. They finally got to go, oh, yeah, listen, can we still open? We're a tourist location. We'll still open, but we'll only let people have a drink if they're having a meal. Well, that gets watered down. And even Ken said yesterday, people drinking there without a meal. So that's already getting watered down. The law is, as far as I'm aware, liquor license is that certain pubs are allowed to go open, but only for meals, and you can have a drink if you're having a meal. So let's go to the poll. 64%, should pubs remain open on Good Friday? 64% said no. So that's the majority, 64% with me, and say no, pubs should still stay open. I know there's an argument on the other side of the fence. People go, I'm not religious. Why should I get... No one's saying you can't have a beer on Good Friday, everyone. Drink at home. Let the pubs remain closed. Let people stay at home with their families on Good Friday. If you don't want to practice religion, then that's fine. I don't go to church or any of that stuff. But can we do without the pubs being open? I think it's poor form. I think we should keep some of our customs and traditions in this country, okay? I'd like to think we're still predominantly a Christian country. Whether you're religious or not, I think your Christian beliefs and just your belief in being a good person is the main thing, isn't it? So there'll be Muslims out there going, we're not Christians. This doesn't mean anything to us. Well, guess what? This country was founded on Christianity. And whether you like it or not, it was. G'day, Kane. How are you? So anyway, that's my take. I'm not a big religious person, guys, but I think we still need to keep some of our customs and traditions. The military ones, Anzac Day, you know my stance on that. That's something that can never, ever be watered down. And I think when it comes to religion and all that type of stuff, even if it's not religion, let's just close the pubs for 2 days a year. Good Friday and Christmas. Spend it at home with your family. No one's saying you're not allowed to have a beer. Just do it at home. Spend the day at home. Have a barbecue or with chicken on it or whatever, or, whatever you want to do. Just stay at home with the family for the day. So anyway, 65% of you agree with me. That's good. I thought it might have gone either way, that one. I know we're losing our religious beliefs in that, and there's no doubt about it that we are. But, close the pubs on Good Friday. Friggin' hell, come on, Airlie Beach Hotel. You're that greedy for a... And Mick, as I said, Mick's not there anymore, guys. You can't be that hard up for a buck that you got to open on Good Friday. I know, I'm pretty sure the pubs here in Innisfail were closed yesterday on Friday, I'm pretty sure. But it just seems to be these big touristy pubs that, Ken said, I know it's their biggest day of the year. Well, it shouldn't be. They should be closed. That's my belief. End poll, 62%. So there you go. That was an interesting one. That was interesting. I'd love to see a poll amongst the whole of Australia, young people and all that. Now, I know a lot of young people aren't being brought up religious anymore. It'd be interesting. I know a lot of us are older in the chat room here and probably similar to me. We were brought up with Good Friday being the day where pubs don't open, you don't eat red meat. Here's another one. Now, I didn't. Did you eat red meat on Friday? Now, I don't know if this is this a Christian thing or just a Roman Catholic thing, everyone? I don't know if this is just a Catholic thing or is it the whole Christian thing? The Church of England, Anglican, there's a lot of different denominations of Christianity out there. I was a Roman Catholic. We were brought up, you don't eat red meat on Good Friday as a thing. Jesus gave his life up on Good Friday, and that's not eating red meat's just a little bit of a respect thing, just a remembering. It's the one thing I still do. It's about the only religious thing I still do. I don't even go to church anymore, guys, unless someone's getting married. I'm not a religious person, but I still like to think I'm a Christian. It's a Roman Catholic, Nikki, is it? Yeah, righto. Which is probably the main with that. And it used to be called Church of England. What's it called now? Anglican Church of England, same thing. Yeah, that's why the Catholics are called fish eaters. Yeah, when you go to the local Cairns Rugby League, Cairns have got a team called Brothers. So we're Innisfail Brothers, Innisfail Leprechaun. We just call the Leps or the Leprechauns. Cairns Brothers wear the traditional navy blue and white hoop, the traditional Brothers outfit that's worn all around Australia. Cairns Brothers. And every time they score a try, the crowd goes, fish, 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 and chant fish, as in Catholics are fish eaters. So, Dean O'Connor, do slow-cooked pork ribs count? No, it's red meat. I was always brought up, mate, bloody nose is itchy. I was always brought up that it was only red meat. So I think you can get away with pork, mate. Pork, now that's why all the seafood markets do so well, isn't it? You see the Sydney, it was on the news, the ABC News, the Sydney fish markets, the fish board or the fish markets in Sydney, which are massive. Did you see the people there on Thursday? Unbelievable. Friday morning. Oh, that is cold. It's like a beer, that coffee. Horrible. But and even the fish board here in Innisfail did a roaring business. So there's a lot of people out there that still must believe in not eating red meat on Good Friday. I think it's one of those traditional things. And it's even young people there. It's still a big thing that people don't eat red meat on Good Friday. It's a Catholic thing, but I don't know, if you follow that belief, guys, and you're not a Roman Catholic, let us know, will you? It'd be interesting to Burko had the CYMS Footy Club in Orange had their own pub named the Vatican. Speaking of Vatican, the poor old bloody Pope Francis, is that his name? Not Benedict, the Pope is not looking well, guys, and I don't think he's got much longer to go, the poor bugger, but he was out there having a crack. Apparently he was too crook for Good Friday, but they showed him on Easter Saturday and he was in his wheelchair and in the Vatican and doing all this stuff to people. So he's not well and he's still out having a crack. Mr. Donny, fresh snapper, calamari, whiting, flathead and gummy shark, all fresh from Port Phillip Bay. There you go. Aussie, unless your steak identifies as pork. Well, there you go. So, do you eat red meat on Friday? 77% have said no. Okay, that's higher than I thought. Now, I'm going to ask a personal question here, everyone. So, 77% of you said you don't eat red meat on Friday. I'm going to ask a personal question here. Remember, no one can see who's voting what way. Are you a rock crusher? That's another thing for Roman Catholic. Rock crusher, RC, rock crusher. At a poll. How many of you out there are Roman Catholic by religion? When you join my dog tag, my army dog tags, you had to have your religion on your army dog tags, and I've still got my dog tags hanging up in the bedroom, guys. It's got 182296 PD Rogers AB positive, which is your blood your blood type, which is, you can't even read that anymore. It's that old. I got that when I was 17, that tattoo, my blood group on my arm. And everyone said, what if your right arm got blown off? I went, I'd have to go on my dog tags then. So 182296, my regimental number. PD Rogers. What did I say? AB positive is my blood type, which is the second rarest. And then RC, Roman Catholic. We had our religion stamped on our dog tags in the army, which if you went overseas, you had to wear in case you were killed. So, yeah, I wore those things hung around my neck every day in East Timor. Everyone had to have their dog tags on. So if you ever get bloody killed, there's two dog tags. There's a round one and a hexagonal type one. I forget which way it goes now. So they can take one off if you get killed, one off, and one stays with the body, so they can identify you when they go to put you in a body bag, guys. So pretty morbid stuff. So we had RC for Roman Catholic, or they'd have ANG for Anglican. I don't know, all the different religions out there. ISL maybe for if you're Islamic, or MUS for Muslim, probably MUS. I didn't know any Muslim people that were in the army when I was in the army. I'm sure there's probably some in there now. Same as in the Netherlands, Jack. Yeah, so Jack said that their religion was on their army dog tags in the Dutch army as well. And I'm sure the American and the British army are the same. So are you Roman Catholic? And 68% at the moment are saying no. But 70-something% of people said that they didn't eat red meat, which is only a Catholic thing. So Nikki Slade, same as Jace. What did Jace say there, Nikki? I'm going to start watching the comments a bit closer. I missed what Jace said anyway. What did you say, Jace? No, can't see it. Mike Blakely, what is that? Mike's on from Colorado, everyone. No, we're just talking about, I don't know how long you've been in there, Mike. We're just talking about Catholics over here in Australia. We don't eat red meat on Good Friday, mate. It's a sign of respect for Jesus dying on the cross and all that type of stuff. It's a Roman Catholic thing. We don't eat red meat on Good Friday. Apparently it's only a Roman Catholic thing, but 68% of the people in the chat room are saying that or 65% now, are saying that they're not Catholic, and yet we had 72% saying that they didn't eat red meat. So, yeah, I don't know. It's interesting, isn't it? So I'll end the poll there. What about another quick start a poll? No, I don't know how to word that. I was going to say, if you're not Roman Catholic, did you not eat red meat? Like, how many of you out there are not Catholics but observe the no red meat thing? Is there anyone else? You can put your name up if you want to do that, and it'd be interesting to see why. If someone's out there as an Anglican or Presbyterian or Jehovah's Witness or all these different other religions, Christianity denominations, Mormon, it's all Christian, isn't it? Are you not a Catholic, but you still observe the no red meat thing? I'd be interested to see if anyone did that, and if so, why? Why did you do that? Are you Roman Catholic? 63% said no. The two big religions were always Roman Catholic and Church of England, which is now Anglican. I think they call it Anglican. So Roman Catholic, Anglican, Presbyterian was another one, wasn't it? Presbyterian. They've all got their own interpretation of the Bible, and then you get off into other denominations, guys. And when you get off, that's getting into weird territory there. So there's other people out there have got totally weird interpretations of the Bible that seem to be different to your Catholics and your whatever. Catholics have got some weird things too, guys, that I don't agree with, and I think they need to get up with the times, the Catholic Church. There's some. Yeah, Church of England is Anglican now. Yeah, I thought so. It used to be called Church of England in my day. They were the two big ones, Catholics and Church of England, which is now Anglican. Respect for Christianity. Yeah, I know, mate. I'm not a big thing. I still consider myself a Christian. So I like to think that there's a God out there somewhere, and some of the things that happen, but it makes you it makes you doubt your faith sometimes. I said that on the last feed. Isn't it? When you see certain things happen, little kids getting cancer and all this type of shit, and you think, is there really a God up there? You know, why is he taking good people and not the shitbags? But depends on who you speak to. If anyone can convince me of why that happens, I'm all ears, guys. Slackens on. Mark's up there in Toronto. Happy Easter, ladies and Bruces. Sorry I'm late. We're out for dinner with my parents. Good stuff, Mark. Good stuff. Hope you're having a great Easter, mate, up there. Everyone's down. We're heathens, and my missus won't let me eat red meat, but I'm always happy to eat some seafood. Yeah. Well, there you go. Noisy Miner. How's that for a name? Yeah, I know. And I'll tell you what, there's one bloody industry that I think loves Good Friday, and it's the seafood industry, because it goes apeshit, doesn't it? It really does. Anyway, not trying to get religious on you there, guys, but it's interesting, isn't it? Interesting to see people's, I don't know, the red meat thing's just something that stuck with me. Mum was religious growing up. Mum's another one. Mum's not religious anymore, but boy, oh boy, back in the 70s when we were growing up as kids, we went to church every Sunday. I hated going to church, but Mum would drag it. I remember Mum giving me the jug cord across the back. Remember when jugs used to have a cord? They didn't, the cord you could pull out, similar to an iron cord. The jug cord pulled out, and I said to Mum, I'm not going to church. I'm sick of it. I don't want to go. Mum pulled the jug cord out of the jug and whipped me across the back about 20 times. And guess what? I ended up at church that day. Mum gave it to me with a jug cord. Back in the days when your parents used to be able to give you a bit of discipline and go, you little turd, how dare you say you're not going to church? Get the jug cord into you. So that's how it was. Now Mum would end up in jail for bloody beating a kid up. Back in my day, it was discipline. Where you getting the jug cord? Or dad sized bloody 12 up your ass. That was even worse. That only happened to me about once, I think. Dad booting me up the ass, and I stole 10 cents off someone back in the 70s. Back when I was in Cunnamulla, and I flogged 10 cents from somewhere. I was only a young kid, and Dad found out. Dad was a cop, and he belted me all the way home. Belted me, lifted me off the ground every time he smacked me and stuck a boot up my ass. I never stole again, ever, after that. Yeah, it was the good old days, wasn't it? We've all been, anyone, Nicky Slade and all us are about this age. Timmy Ryan, I'm sure we've all been through it. And we don't ever look back on our parents and go, oh, our parents used to bash us up. They'll bloody discipline us. And that's why we've ended up good people, is because our parents did the right thing by us. Have a look at the kids nowadays. No discipline. Can't smack them, can't boot them up the ass, and have a look at what we get. You reap what you sow is the saying, isn't it? Have a look at some of the kids now. Absolutely no discipline. And, well, you can see it. You see it for yourself, don't you? I'm sure Jack Turtle got a boot up his ass from his old man when he was a young fella over in Holland. So, the good covers Adventure Capers. The good old jug cord left its mark. It did. It did, mate. It did. It looked like you'd had the bloody, what's that, cat of nine tails or whatever, after Mum finished with me with a jug cord. Holy shit, I still remember that. And it wasn't across the arse. She got me across the back, and I didn't have a shirt on. I used to walk around thinking I was pretty tough as a young fella. Shirt off until I got the jug cord across the back about 10 times. I'll tell you what, I got to church quick smart. We got the leather strap that was used for sharpening knives. Yes. Yeah. At school, we used to get at the state schools, we used to get the cuts, and it used to be a cane, and you get it across your hands. If you're mucking up in class, you get the cane. The brothers had a leather strap, and Warwick in wintertime, oh my God, that thing. But if you really stuffed up, you got sent to the principal's office, and that was Brother Mark Sayer, Sayer. I wonder if he's still alive. I'd love to run into that guy again. He was just such a sports fanatic. Go to the principal's office, you're going to get the leather strap, and it was a thick leather strap, and we didn't get it across the hands. We got that one across the arse. And let me tell you, in winter time, that stung. That stung. And when you got a couple of them across the arse, you shut your mouth when you got back to class and you didn't muck up. So back in the day, buck floggeroony. Yeah, I was pretty good at school. I didn't get the cuts too much. I got it every now and then. You'd get caught jibber-jabbering. I got caught every time I got the cuts. It wasn't for being disrespectful to the teachers or anything. It was because I was jibber-jabbering when I wasn't supposed to be. And the brother Joe Hodgkinson, his name was, at Christian Brothers College in Warwick. Righto, all you blokes talking, get out here now. So there'd be about 20 of us lined up, across the hand, 2 on the hand, back to your desk, shut it. You'd be sitting here in wintertime, rubbing your hand. If you go, right, everyone, get up and get the cuts, you'd be under the desk, rubbing your hands together, trying to warm them up so it didn't sting as much. Oh, they were good days. They were good days. We used to keep a tally of how many cuts you'd had. We had a bloke there at school. He'd get about 12 a day, non-stop, just some of the bad boys. Not so much in the Catholic school, in the state school, where a few renegades in there. And those blokes they'd be out getting 6 of the best 2 or 3 times a day. And not often you got 6. If you're being cheeky or disrespectful, you got 6. Usually it was 2 or 4. But never more than 6. I don't remember them ever giving out more than 6. 6 of the best. Anyone remember that? 6 of the best meant 6 cuts at school. Here we go. Another poll, guys. I don't know if the girls did the girls ever get the cuts, or was it just a boy thing? Did you get the cuts? That's what we called them in Queensland. The cuts. Is that what it was called in your? Did you get the cuts at school? Start a poll. Slacken, Mike Blakely. Did you get the cuts or the cane or the leather strap at school when you misbehave? I'm talking back in the 70s and early 80s, guys. I don't know what year it came out where you weren't allowed to hit kids. They're not allowed to do it at school anymore. Nathan Schilling will let them know that. Nathan, you could have given them the trombone over the head, mate, when they were misbehaving. Give them the trombone over the head, or make them put their ear up to the tuba and go, Murr, and give them a big tuba blast in the ear. That'd sort them out. So Craig saying, yep, he got the cuts. Nikki Slade saying she was an angel with a halo on her head. Bullshit, Nikki. Bullshit. You would have been a bloody little brat for sure. Nikki saying she was an angel. Nikki, did girls get the cuts at school? Let us know. I don't think I went to a boys' school. I did go to one Catholic co-ed school. It was shit too. I didn't like that. Assumption College. I don't ever remember the girls getting the cuts at school. It was a boy thing. And a lot of boys, we used to take pride in getting the cuts. It was like your signing of manhood. If you hadn't had the cuts, you were a wimp. So you had to purposely, it'd be like, mate, you haven't had the cuts for a month. You got to start talking or something, get up and get a couple. Like you used to egg your mates on to try and get the cuts, because if they didn't have enough of them, they were wimps. So not back then. No, there you go. Dwayne Duffy. Yes, before I went to my first class one day in grade 1. Grade 1, I had the nuns. I went to a Catholic school in Cunnamulla out in West Queensland, and the nuns were brutal guys. They were, back in the days when we used to get a little 250ml bottle of milk, you had to, when they used to deliver milk to school, they'd leave it, and you had to go out at little lunch, we called it. They had little lunch and big lunch. You had to scull your bottle of milk. At little, it was a government initiative that kids had to drink milk. So you go out, and if you didn't have your milk at little lunch, the nurses used to know who hadn't had their milk, and then they used to leave it in the sun until lunchtime and make you go out and scull it when it was warm at lunchtime. That's what the nurses used to do. The nuns. That's what the nuns used to do to us back in grade 1 and grade 2, is make us drink warm milk if we didn't drink it when it was cold at little lunch at 10 o'clock. They'd wait till 12:30 or whatever, and then make you leave the milk in the sun and make you go out and scull it. Imagine doing that now to a kid. They'd end up in jail. My God. Girls got the cuts. The Oliver family saying girls got the cuts. I never ever saw it. Is that you, Christina? I never ever saw the girls get the cuts at school. Before Rowan saying, before my time, just had to wait till you got home from mum and dad to dish it out. Yeah. And if you got a bad report card or your report card said your behaviour wasn't up to speed, mum and dad used to sort you out. There was one thing to get a report card where your grades weren't as good as they should have been. You'd certainly get a lecture about that. But if there was anything on your report card about bad behaviour, then yes, mum and dad would sort you out. The good parents. And at the end of the day, you don't look back at your parents and go, Dad was an arsehole, he flogged me for stealing 10 cents, or Mum was an arsehole for giving me the jug cord across the back because I didn't go to church and that. You know, that turned us into better people, I think. I think corporal punishment should come back at school. Chris Whitchurch. Jennifer, I was out in Cunnamulla from 71 to 74, mate. No, I don't remember that name, sorry. Chris Whitchurch. Mum and Dad may know that name, but I was very young out there. I was at the start of grade 1 through to grade 4. Gidgey was still a bloody little baby out there. Gidgey was born in 70. We moved to Cunnamulla in 71, so Gidgey was still a very young kid, little baby out there. I remember the greasy pig races at school in Cunnamulla. They used to have some festival, and they'd grease a little pig up, put grease all over him, and all the young kids, it was the greasy pig race, and whoever caught the greasy pig won $10 or something, which was big money back then. And it was like you'd be diving, you'd get this little pig, and you'd think, I got him, and he'd slip out because they used to grease him up with Vaseline. It was the greasy pig race. That's the shit that they used to do back in the days before internet and computers and that, is they used to think up shit like that to keep the kids entertained, is the greasy pig race. So there you go. Now, what was that poll? I can't even remember what I was doing. Did you get the cuts at school? 73% said yes. So obviously a lot of yous in the chat room are my age or around that age, because when did corporal punishment at school go out, I wonder? Can anyone Google that, please? If you got access to Google someone, can you just Google, when did corporal punishment cease at school? It'd be interesting to know. I'm tipping early 80s, maybe mid 80s. I'm not quite sure. Mike Blakely, do they still corporal punishment or slacking in Canada? I'm tipping that they don't do corporal punishment, not capital punishment. That should still be a thing too, I reckon, for certain people. So when did corporal punishment stop at? He was a sniper in the army too. No, I didn't know him, Jennifer, sorry. No, they don't. Slacken said no there. So pubs on Good Friday, everyone, well, not everyone, but a lot of said that pubs should still stay open. Mark and Mike, hotels, pubs, whatever you call them over there, do they close on Good Friday? If keep an eye out in the comments, everyone. Slacken, do hotels and pubs close on Good Friday in Canada or in Colorado, Mike? Be interesting to know, or is that just an Aussie thing? Might be just an Australian thing. Well, that's Rowan Martin. Queensland stopped in 1995. That's later than I thought. I thought it would have been a lot earlier than that, mate. Yeah, wow. Tony said, when I was a recruit instructor at Kapuka, my nickname was Corporal Punishment. Yes, punishment at Kapuka. We copped a few biffos in my day, but you're not allowed to do that in the army. But punishment in the army was usually something down the lines of push-ups and burpees and things like that until you nearly passed out. So Dean's off, is he? Okay, Dean, see you later, mate. So we talked about Paul from Won't Stand Still, guys. Go and have a look at that little interview he did with me on the YouTube channel Won't Stand Still, where I put the challenge out to the Sandgropers to do a charity camping event. I think the best hope, as I said, Cam and Pete to do that one. Now, here's another one. I'm going to put another poll up, guys. I said I wasn't going to talk about Politics, and I'm not, but Mr. Bullitt contacted me last night. He doesn't think voting should be compulsory. We've got an upcoming election coming up, but I do want to do this. Start a poll. Should voting be compulsory? Hope I spelled that right. Yep. Should voting be compulsory? It is compulsory, as we know. Mr. Bullitt thinks it shouldn't be. I know in the United States, I don't think it's compulsory. Personally, I think, here we go, this is a 50-50 split here. I think it should be. I think it's important that every Australian over the age of 18 has a say in how this country is governed. I think it should be compulsory. And it is. You enroll to vote at 18, and if you don't vote, you can get a $50 fine or something like that. I think it should be. I think it's in everyone's interest to vote one way or the other. Whoever you want to vote for, that's fine. And that's what a democracy is. We all go in, we have our say, we vote for who we think will do the best by us and our country, and we vote for it. And whatever party gets in, we respect that decision. As much as we may not like it, we respect it, and we let that mob go on and govern for another 3 years. We did a thing 1 or 2 weeks ago about should we go to 4-year terms like the Americans, and it came back no. I think that was an overwhelming no. Keep it at 3 years. So we've already been down that line. But Mr. Bullitt wanted to know, he doesn't think it should be compulsory to vote. I think it should be. I think it's in everyone's interest to go out and vote. I think, like in America, if anyone goes, they don't like the current president and they're whinging about him, but they didn't vote, I don't think you've got the right to whinge. So hang on, don't whinge about him. You didn't even vote. Why didn't you go out and vote against him or for him or whatever the case may be? I think here, Mike and Mark, Slacken, is voting compulsory? We know it's not in the United States. Is voting compulsory in Canada? That would be interesting. Mark said no there to something. I'm not sure what that was, so I'll just wait for Slacken to get on. I think it shouldn't be. While all citizens should have the right to vote, it should be up to each individual as to whether they choose to vote or not. If you don't vote, shut up. Yeah, I agree. I agree, mate. But the trouble is, a lot of these people now, and I'm talking about Australians, will sit back and go, I can't be bothered voting. And then when their party doesn't get in, they sit back and whinge and go out and protest and all that. Well, no, shut the you-know-what up. You didn't go out and vote. But they will, mate. They will. They'll sit at home, not vote, and then go out and whinge about it and start burning flags and bloody protesting and all this bullshit. It's I think we should keep it the way it is. How long does it take to go? You usually go out on Saturday morning to go and have a coffee or go shopping anyway. I drive past the voting thing here, and I'm going to be there for a couple of hours, bloody handing out Bob Catter pamphlets on that morning anyway. They asked me if I want to hand some pamphlets out. I said, yep. Burko agrees with Mark. Mike over in Colorado saying the government should not have the authority to force that to happen. One more step down that rabbit hole and you're forced to vote for the party over the others. Then democracy dies. Yeah, mate, it's compulsory here, Mike. Only if you've enrolled in I know a lot of people that have never enrolled. They never get a fine unless you enroll. But once you enroll to vote when you turn 18, I think it's important that you do. Should it be compulsory? I think so. I get people saying it shouldn't be, but it's just such an important thing. I think every Australian over the age of 18 should go in and vote and have your say. And hopefully that way we get the right result. Anyway. Yeah, and Big T saying, Buck, everyone who does not want to vote just does a donkey vote anyway. Well, that's another, yeah, Big T. People that are forced to vote might go in and write on their thing, I vote for Ronald McDonald or something. And then when they pull it out to count it, it's go, donkey vote, donkey vote. Yeah, you're right there, mate. So, I don't know. But then again, you get now, if Albo gets in, he might get in and only 20% of the country's voted. I don't know. Anyway, we'll see what you know what I reckon. I reckon it should be compulsory. I can understand people's reasoning for why it shouldn't be. I think it's important. I think it's in everyone. Everyone should go out and vote. Everyone should go out and vote. No, I'm sticking with that, Nikki. I'm sticking with yes, you should. And here we go. We'll end the poll. 63% of you people in here say yes, it should be compulsory and are happy with the current way it is in Australia, that it is compulsory to go and vote in federal and state elections, and also your have your say for your local mayor too. You know what? I was almost tempted. There's a part of me that wants to run for politics, guys. There's a part of me that wants to get in and rip it into them. And I was almost tempted yesterday to say I'm going to run for mayor of the Cassowary Coast, and I'm going to do it for free. Because as you know, I'm on an army pension. I get that till the day I die. I was going to go, I'm going to be mayor of this place, and I'll do it for free for 3 years. I'm going to do it for free. I don't want to pay. And if they say, no, you have to be paid, I'm going to go, I'll give it all to the animal shelter then, which is run by the council anyway. So just yesterday, the Cassowary Coast Regional Council, all the councillors and the mayor and all that, so the big knobs are getting a 2.5% pay rise with CPI, just automatic, twice a year. CPI. They just keep getting pay rises. Meanwhile, our rates go up. Every year, our rates go up. As you know, I do volunteer driving. I got on their website about a month ago, and I said, the state of the white lines around this town are atrocious. Some of them, you can't even see them anymore. Stop sign lines that are not even there anymore. And I wonder why people are going through stop signs. Should be a nice big white line with stop written in front of it. So if you miss the stop sign, at least it's there on the road. The white lines around this town or this region are atrocious. They're non-existent in a lot of areas. Here it rains a lot. You rely on the white lines, especially at night time when it's pissing down rain. Those white lines are important for safety. Guess what? Crickets, never heard back from them. Righto. I went into the Cassowary Coast chambers the other day, lady on the front counter. I said, I'm here to put in a complaint. What about the state of the white lines around town? I said, I'll put something in on your website. You never got back to me. I'm here in person to make a complaint about the state of the white lines. They haven't been done for 10 years. It's just bullshit. Driving out to Flying Fish Point and that at night, you can't see the white lines. And in the rain, you rely on those lines for safety. And around town and all that, just repaint the stop thing every now and then. And all right, yep, it's been lodged. You'll hear back from us within 10 working days. Guess what? Nothing again. And I just thought, you know what? All these councillors and that, they walk around, they get paid a big fat wage and achieve nothing. They achieve nothing. And I just, for a minute there, I got angry yesterday. I thought, bastards. And we got some female mayor at the moment who you never see downtown. I don't even know what she looks like. I thought, I'm going to run for mayor and bloody tell them I'm going to do it for nothing and just get in there and start ripping in it. There's too many people working in offices and not enough people out on lawnmowers and out painting white lines around the town. The highways are done by main roads. I'm talking about around town and the back roads and all that type of stuff. Painting give way and stop signs and all that type of stuff. Oh, you know what? They're just sitting there in the council chambers getting a dirty big fat wage and achieving nothing. Buildings with mould all over them. Bloody grass I know it rains all the time up here, but, get more people out on lawnmowers and whippersnippers. More at the coalface and less in offices and that. But anyway, it pisses me off, and I was thinking about running for mayor. I'll tell you what, if I did, there'd be some people losing their jobs. But then I thought, nah, you run for mayor and then you just bloody, nah. Maybe if I was a bit younger and whatever. It's still part of me wants to do it, but I'll tell you now. So compulsory, we reckon yes there. I've got some good news for you in a minute, guys. Gidgy and Nutty coming up for some cook-up soon. Now, speaking of, most of you didn't eat red meat on Good Friday. That's good to hear. The other day, got a young fella that was almost had his 100 hours up in the automatic car. And I said, mate, come on. Why are you still in an automatic? Oh, Nan wants me to just get me auto license. Nan's not the one who's going to have to go and get a job. And, you know, when you're going to go get a job, and part of the requirement to get a job, if you want to be a tyre fitter or a mechanic or whatever, and you've got to have a manual license as one of the prerequisites to get that job, no good with an auto, mate. So I talked him into going into the manual. So he was hesitant. I said, come on, mate, get in the manual. I'll teach you. Anyway, his first 3 lessons in the manual were rough. Like, he was having trouble. Who's that? Slacking. If that's you, stop it. I'm going to put it on silent. Who is it? I'll tell you. I bet it's Papa. Pap servicing his tractor. What was I saying? Squirrel again. Pap, you just bloody took me. Yeah, that's right. He was having trouble. He was having trouble in the manual. We had 3 90-minute lessons, and it was getting to the stage where he just could not get hill starts. Just could not get the hang of the clutch. And I was almost tempted. I was getting so frustrated with him, and he was getting frustrated with himself. And you could see he was almost in tears. He was getting that frustrated. He just could not pick up the accelerator clutch thing and whatever. Anyway, we went for a 4th lesson the other day, and I got him out the back East Innisfail, some hills and that over there. And the way I was teaching him to do hill starts, he couldn't pick it up. Other students have picked it up quite well. He just couldn't get it. I thought, I've got to think outside the box here, and how am I going to teach him to get this clutch control? He was letting his clutch out and stalling it every time. I said, righto, and I got in. I said, what's this? And I was on a really steep hill, and I got in this little car. It's a little Kia Rio or something, the little manual. And I said, what's this? I said, no handbrake, mate. And I let the clutch out, and as soon as it started grabbing, I just accelerate, and I just kept us on the side of the hill with just using clutch control. So I took him down on a slide hill, and I said, I want you to do the same thing. Let your clutch out. Before you even accelerate, let your clutch out a little bit. When you feel it grabbing, okay, just keep it there. Don't do anything. Just keep it there. Start accelerating. And then he let it out, and then he held us on a little hill. Then we went up a bit more, and a bit more, and a bit more, and he was just holding us there. You could smell the clutch burning a bit. It's probably not good for the car. But he just couldn't work out where he needed to put his clutch so it started grabbing. I said, now we're going to do it with the handbrake. We went onto another hill, and he went, bang, he got it. And then he got another one. Then he got another one. And then 4 in a row. And you should have seen the smile on his face. And then we went for a drive around town in amongst the traffic lights, and he's taken off at traffic lights is getting good now. And I said to him, as soon as you start nailing your hill starts, mate, everything else will come. And you should have seen his confidence in that 4th 90-minute lesson just skyrocket. I got him again next week, and I'm really looking forward to it. So he's broken its back now, the hill starts. He's finally got there. So young Lachlan, his name is, and he's a bloody good young lad. And he's finally, I reckon, I said, mate, that's it. We're just going to go in leaps and bounds now. He's already got his 100 hours up, but we're now just getting him up to speed with the manual. And when I'm confident that he can go for his driving test. So he's still got a few to go yet. He's not there yet. But in the auto, he would have passed tomorrow. Like all his road rules and that's all fine. He just couldn't get the clutch and the gears and that right. But he's going well now, and I really get a kick out of seeing these kids improving and whatever. It's bloody, I really enjoy it, eh? Hey, before we go, I've got some good news for you. Well, it's good news for me, not for you guys. Kane, I hope you haven't eaten too many Easter eggs, mate. How long have I been going? Hour 24, righto. That Kia Rio is rat shit now. Yeah, she got no clutch left, mate. I'll tell you what, the front tyres must be wearing down a bit because I've had a few people do hill starts. let the clutch out too quick. Too many revs, too quick on the clutch, and smoke her up at the front. Those little front wheel drives, as you know, those tyres don't take much to spin. I've had a few girls that like giggle when they take off and chirp the wheels on their hill starts, and they little cheeky giggle on them because they've spun the wheels and that. You can see that they're bloody, yeah, it's funny, but it really is. Front wheel drive chirpies. Yeah, and even this young fella, we were in some. There was a bit of loose gravel on this hill start, and the front wheel spun, and you could see him like he looked at me. I said, "Don't worry about that. That was just loose gravel." But he gave her a bit too much. But tell you what, he revved her. He was getting that frustrated the other day at stalling. He just couldn't get it. I said, "You've got to give it more revs, mate." Anyway, he got under her, and he gave her that much right boot. I was waiting to see the dints come up in the bonnet of the car. The pistons coming out. He was giving it to her. I said, not that much. I thought, if he lets his clutch out now, we're going to backflip and land on our roof. He was under it. I said, not that many revs, mate. When I say give it some revs, I don't mean put the pistons out through the top of the bonnet. But anyway, he's getting there now. He's going really well. So it's amazing. You know, another young fella, he got in, and within 15 minutes of the manual, once again, had his 100 hours up in the auto. I said, come on, mate. That's a girl's license you're going to go for. Man up, go for it. So I talked him into it. And by the end of one 90-minute lesson, he was getting really confident in the manual, going really well. So it's good to see these kids. I've had a lot of girls. I had one young girl, Ramona. She said, oh, my brother got his auto license only. She goes, I want to outdo him. I'm going to go for my manual. Anyway, she got her manual. First pop. First go in the manual, she got her license. Young Indigenous girl. I think she wants to join the Navy. She was a good young kid. And she went manual because she wanted to outdo her brother, who only got his auto only. She goes, oh, I said, it's good to see a girl in the manual. She goes, yeah, I want to outdo my brother. So it was like a competition with her and her brother. Her brother only got his auto. She said, I'm going to get my manual. And she did. So it's good to see a bit of competition between siblings. Put your coffee on the dash and say you fail if you spill it, Aussie. That's another way, isn't it? Exactly right. Bucks burnout tuition. That could be in the advanced driving, showing them how to do bloody front wheel chirpies. Now, I'll tell you one thing I do with them, which isn't in the curriculum. Very early in the piece, I'll get them out one of the back roads in an 80K zone, and I'll make them do an emergency brake, guys, whether it's the auto or the manual. I get them up to 80, and I make them slam the brakes on as hard as they can. And I say, I want to hear the tyres. I want to hear the tyres going on the road, you know, with the, what's the anti-skid braking system, the ABS braking. Remember in our day, guys, if you hit the brakes in the old XY Falcon, she just go, and you just slide. Well, you don't in these new cars with ABS. They're designed so you can still steer when you're braking heavily. And I'll tell you now, the reason I teach them that early is because I have lost count of how many times people have come through giveaway signs and roundabouts and that, and we've had to do an emergency brake. So I teach them the emergency brake very, very early in the piece because it comes in handy, because people in this town have no idea how to drive. We've got little roundabouts here in town that if you're coming straight to them, we teach the kids, go on, looking to your right, no one on the roundabout to your right, go around the roundabout, and we're going straight. We're not going left. We're not going right. We're not going 180 and back. We're going straight. They're not offset roundabouts. It's just straight roundabouts. Go around and then just flick your blinker and exit. You indicate to exit the roundabout. The amount of people in this town that they're coming onto the roundabout, they indicate right to go onto the roundabout and then left to exit the roundabout. So what happens when they hit their right indicator, people on the other side of the roundabout think, you see his right blinker on, you think, oh, he's coming around. So you stop thinking they're coming right around because you've got to give way to them. And then they flick their left blinker on and go straight ahead, and you think, thanks, arsehole, I'm just stuck on the other side of the roundabout. I could have kept going. So the amount of people that do that indicate right to go onto the roundabout. You only indicate right if you're going to go around the roundabout and off to the right or come back the other way. Indicate left if you're going to go left. If you're going straight, indicate off only. That's what we do. That's the way you're supposed to do it. But people here think they have to indicate to go onto the roundabout, and all it does is make people stop on the other side. So if you didn't know that, read the rule book, guys. You only indicate off the roundabout if you're going straight ahead. You don't indicate right, because people think you're going all the way around, and then it stops traffic on the other side of the roundabout. Nah, people who don't know how to drive have no clue what the rules and signs are. We tag them regularly in the buses. I totaled a guy's car in the bus once because he ran a red. Yeah, well, play stupid games, win stupid prizes, as they say, Mark. Run a red light and hit a bus. Guess what? You come off second best. But it stuffs you around with all the paperwork and, stuffs all the passengers around. No, Mike Blakely in Colorado said nobody here knows how to drive through a roundabout here either. Well, there you go. It mustn't just be Innisfail. Mike, it's over in Colorado as well. No, Nicky, it's in Queensland. It says indicate off only, if practical. You don't have to indicate. No, you do not. In Queensland, it says if you're going straight ahead, you indicate to exit the roundabout only, mate. That's written in the rule. I don't know about New South Wales. I'm talking about Queensland. Look it up. I'm pretty sure you'll find, because if you understand what I mean, if you've got a roundabout and you're coming into the roundabout and you hit your right indicator to go straight ahead, people on the other side of the roundabout that are going to go straight ahead, they'll stop because they'll see your right indicator on, thinking you're coming all the way around. And then when you get halfway, you flick your left blinker on and go straight ahead. And the other people on the other side go, thanks, arsehole, I just stopped for nothing. So in Queensland, you only indicate to exit the roundabout. If you're turning right or left or doing a 180, yes, you indicate then, absolutely. No, you're in New South Wales, Nicky. If that's the Queensland rule, you indicate only to exit when you're going straight ahead. But the amount of people that have come through giveaway signs at us and it's like, that is, if you've got a big red and white triangle with giveaway on it, that means you give way both ways. And people just go straight through all the time. Kane Higgins, you diddly donk. No, you're not allowed to do handbrake drifts, mate. Pump koala. You have to indicate when exiting in New South Wales. So same as Queensland, mate. You indicate when you're exiting. If you're coming up the roundabout, you're going to turn left. Hit your left indicator. Do a shoulder check. Look to your right. If no one's on the roundabout, go around to the left. If you're going straight ahead, look to your right. Anyone on the roundabout? No. Go into the roundabout, exit off. That's it. If you're going around to the right, indicate right, give way to traffic on the roundabout and to the right there. If there's people on your right, give way to them, or on the roundabout, go around the roundabout. And as you're going around, then when you go all the way around to a 270 or whatever it is, then indicate off. You always indicate off the roundabout, yes. Trouble is, some of the roundabouts in Innisfail are that bloody small. By the time you get around them, you haven't had time to indicate. So give way to anything on a roundabout. Yeah, exactly right. Coffee breaking. Now, got some good news, guys. Now, I know I'm going to cop some flack over this when the time comes when I do the YouTube clips. As you know, I'm making a power station in the shed to try and give my Jackery a bit more. As you know, my Jackery hasn't got enough battery power in it to power my house all night after we lose power, after a cyclone or a storm or whatever. I want to be able to power the house. Less air conditioners, obviously, but I want to keep me fridges and freezers and lights and fans going. Jackery will power the house, but not long enough. Now, Jackery's got extra batteries you can stack on top and plug them in, and guess what? They're about $2,899 each. And I don't have that sort of money. So what I thought is I'm going to get some lithium batteries and do it that way, which you can do. So I've been sitting back thinking by next cyclone season, I want to have this battery bank up and running, because cyclone season's over now, hopefully, although they just had one over in West Aussie, didn't they? Cat 2 come across in the Kimberley. Next book, Rafa's Dry. Hey, Aussie, you might be onto something there. Don't be a diddly-donk driver or something, and do some basic road rules. Aussie, you might be onto something there, mate. You know what? That's not as silly as it sounds. That is absolutely. Yeah. Thank you. That's bloody... I'll keep that in the back of my mind, mate. Squirrel. Aussie, you've just... What was I talking about? Oh, my battery bank's in the shed. So I thought by the start of next cyclone season, which is, say, December, the start of next summer, cyclone season coming, I want to be able to have that system set up in the shed. I've already bought the bench and got the back bench and everything on. That's all ready to go. All I needed the batteries and all the other stuff to make it work. So you wouldn't believe, I was sitting there thinking, people are saying, go with all this expensive stuff. Ty Fenwick sent me, this big Victron thing, which would have been fantastic, but big money, everyone, big money. So I'm thinking I'm going to go at some stage and spend a couple of grand at King's and buy a couple of big 300 amp lithium batteries and all the ancillary stuff, solar controllers, 240 volt chargers at 240 volt to get it up and running. The trouble is, Kings don't have all the ancillary stuff. They have some of it, but not all of it. Victron, I was going to use a Victron solar controller, blah, blah, blah. So I get an email the other day from Lead Time. And if anyone's watched Steve and Annie's Soar Adventures, you'll know Steve's got a Lead Time battery, LITIME. They're a new mob from China, and they're all made in China anyway. They're trying to get their foot in the door. They're pretty big in the United States, Lead Time. They're pretty big in the United States, and they're trying to break into Australia. And I've noticed that a few Aussie YouTubers, Phil the Maniac's one, who's been given a battery, and Steve and Annie, there's probably some more. Lead Time have gone through the YouTube world, having a look for Aussie YouTubers that are into the camping, four-wheel driving sort of things, and offering them a lithium battery to promote it because they're trying to get their name out there. So anyway, I got an email from Lead Time offering me 100 amp hour battery. I said, no. I said, I'm over the I don't need stuff for camping and all that. I'm already set up there. I'm doing, and I explained to them, I'm trying to do a power station in the shed. And they said, well, we've got a 280 amp hour battery. What about that? And I got back to them and said, it's 280 is not enough. I need about 600, to get by. And I said, can you give me two of them? And they said, no, we're only limited to one and that. And I thought, all right, what I'll do is I'll grab one of their 280s and I bought another one, everyone. So they're about $900 and something for a 280 amp hour lithium battery. The King's 300s are about $799 or whatever, so around the same price. Lead Time's just a little bit more expensive than King's. And looking on the American sites, there's a lot of people are pretty happy with the Lead Time lithium batteries. They're LiFePO 4, if you're wondering. They are proper LiFePO 4 lithium-ion batteries, not the ones like in scooters and that burst into flames. They're proper LiFePO 4 batteries. So anyway, Lead Time said, we'll give you a 280 amp hour battery for nothing, and you can buy another one. And I said, righto. So it cost me under $1,000 for a second battery. So now I've got 560 amps of lithium on the way, guys. I should be here next week, hopefully. And they threw in a little 20 amp, 240 volt charger to go with it. I'm going to need more than that, but they threw it in for nothing anyway. So I was given a 280 amp hour lithium battery from Lead Time, and I purchased a second one, guys, which is $900 and something. So I've got 560 amps of lithium. If that still isn't enough, when I do my thing, I can always buy another one, can't I? Save up, get another one, and put three in. So I'm going to put them in parallel. 280 and 280 is 560 in parallel. Join the positive to positive, negative to negative. You still keep your 12 volts. It'll give me 560 amps. If I put a third one in, what's bloody 280 by 3, whatever that is, that'll give me 700 and whatever. 740, is it? Something like that. If I get a third one, if I buy a third one. So I've got lithium batteries on the way. Then I thought, righto, I need all the other stuff to go with it. I need an inverter. I want an inverter monitor. I want a 500 amp shunt and a display panel so I can see what's coming into my batteries and what's going out. You need to know what your batteries are doing. So a 500 amp shunt and a display. I need a good AC charger so that the next morning, it's good to have 560 amps of lithium. How am I going to charge it up the next day? Solar is one way, but you can't get enough power into it. So I needed a good AC charger. So I cranked the Jenny up the next day. And a lot of the AC chargers they're all like 15 and 20 amperes and that. But King's doesn't have AC chargers, guys. So I'm thinking I need to find a good AC charger. So I was doing some looking through, and I got onto iTech World website, and they got systems or something. And I went in there, and it's got off-grid systems. And I went, oh, okay, iTech World. I haven't been on the iTech World thing for a while, guys. You know, I used to work with iTech World. I bought some stuff off iTech World, and they've also given me a couple of little things. I'll talk about another. Remind me about the JS80 soon, guys. I only used it yesterday. And squirrel again. I've got to stop getting sidetracked. So I got on the iTech World website, off-grid systems. So I went in there, and they've got off-grid systems, and it's like 4 by 200 amp batteries or 6 by, it depends on how many you want to buy. And then it had all the other stuff, and it had 40 amp solar controller, which can take up to 100 volts of solar. So 100 slant 40 of a solar controller. It had a 3,000 watt pure sine wave inverter, all iTech World. It had a 40 amp DC to AC to DC charge. So a normal 240 volt charger, which is a 40 amp. A lot of them are only 20 amp. So I can get in out of my generator 40 amps an hour pumping into those batteries through the generator using 240 volts. What else was there? The proper cabling for the 3,000 watt inverter with a using 0 gauge wire and a 750 amp, like proper heavy duty cabling to join the inverter up to the thing. And so I got onto iTech World, and I wanted to ask them about the solar controller to make sure I can put in multiple solar panels. And the lady on the phone said, yeah, you can go up to 92 volts or whatever, over 25 degrees, take up to 92 volts. So you can put multiple solar panels in there. You'll only get a maximum of 40 amps, but you can put multiple solar panels in as long as it doesn't go over 90 volts, which is going to be fine. So anyway, I said, I was talking to her about, I asked if Jordan was there. Jordan was the bloke I used to deal with. He was over in China at the time. Anyway, I told the lady, I said, yeah, I used to work in with iTech World, even had a discount code over there at one stage. I don't know if it's still active and whatever. And I was trying to tip that I might get a 10% discount. And I said, can you do me a quota for all your off-grid stuff, all the inverter and the AC, the solar controller, the AC charger, all the displays and all that type of stuff, the shunt cable and the 500 amp shunt and the big thick cabling to go from the inverter to the batteries and all that. I said, I don't need the batteries. Just do me a quota of all the other stuff, please. So she said, right, I'll speak to Jordan and we'll see what we can do for you. So anyway, through comes an email from iTech World with a quote for all that stuff. And it had all listed down. Total $2,178. I went, okay. And I'm going to have to take the hit. So I don't have to do this straight away. I've got to think. And then I kept reading the email and it goes, discount $2,178. They've given it to me for nothing, everyone. iTech World. Jordan's obviously has gone to the lady. That's Buck. Just give it to him. He does YouTube clips for us in the past. And Jordan's even said when I was doing iTech World stuff a couple of years ago, he said, we did very well out of you, Buck. He said, we had a lot of orders come through because of your YouTube channel. So all that gear that's going to get mounted up on the board is coming from iTech World, and I got it for free. I did not ask for it for free. The lady said something on the phone. She goes, okay, we'll get all that done up. And she'd already spoken to Jordan when I was on the phone to her. And I said, oh, can you knock up a quote? And she said, yeah, we'll just get it all together and send it over to you. And I said, oh, no, I just want a quote at the moment. She goes, okay, I'll speak to Jordan again. And I think they'd already made their mind up. The way she said it, I said, no, I just want a quote. Anyway, the email come through about 10 minutes later, and they're giving it to me, guys. So what I did do is I got on and bought something for about $199, and it's another panel which has got USBs and all this type of stuff. So I actually bought that out of my own money. That wasn't part of their off-grid system. So I've been kissed on the old fella by a fairy. I really have. I was not expecting this. That lead time email came at just perfect timing from Lead Time, which Steve Fuller has done one. They're giving me a 280 amp hour battery. I bought another one. So I've got 560 amps of lithium now and all the iTech World gear. All I need now is someone with the knowledge of how, when it arrives, how to set it up for me, because I don't think I have the knowledge to do it properly. I'm going to have to try and get an auto elec around to do it. 3 by 120 panels in series through 100 volt charge. Lukey, funny you should say that. Guess where I'm going tomorrow? I've already ordered. So unbelievable, guys. iTech World, incredible. Like, look, I didn't ask for this for free. I was going to buy it, and I thought, maybe I did mention the little Mr. Buck 10 discount code, thinking I might get 10%. Trying to save myself a few bucks. I wasn't expecting it for nothing. Unbelievable. And I even emailed the lady back, said, I didn't ring up to get this for nothing, I said, I wasn't expecting that. She said, no. Jordan said to give it to you for free. So thank you, iTech World. And thank you, Lead Time, for the spare battery. So absolutely amazing. So what you're telling us is you're going to mention iTech World and Lead Time multiple times. Absolutely, Craig. And that's part of the deal, mate, as you know. If someone gives you, and that's part of, and one thing I do want to say is there's no sponsorship and all that. People will say, oh, you're sponsored now by iTech World. They gave me some stuff for free. I do YouTube clips and show people how I'm using it. And absolutely, mate. I think that's what it's about. It's they look after me and I look after them. I've done it for a lot of companies over the years. Shady Gear, Crazy Dog Canvas, Drifter. That's our little YouTube things. But at no stage, I'm going to ask about my discount code again at iTech World. See if they can reactivate that. I don't get anything. I know a lot of YouTubers out there will they'll have a 10% discount code or a 5% discount code. They get a cut as well. And I don't get that, guys. I refuse to take it. I don't get cuts. I'm just happy that a company has given me some stuff for free. And the least I can do is use it. It helps me out. And I mention their name. And I've done that with iTech World before. So I know there'll be people out there that'll get the shits that, oh, you got it for free and all that. Well, guess what? That $2,000 is better in my pocket than, you know what I mean? I've saved me $2,000 and I appreciate it. iTech World is some pretty good stuff anyway. So, and I've dealt with them in the past. Lead Time batteries. I was going to go with King's batteries, guys, because that was in my budget. So Lead Time have given me one battery and I bought another one, which was $900 and something for 280 amps. So I still coughed up a lot of money for that. Lead Time, wait till the clip comes out. They offered me Craig, this is where I'm going with this. They offered me a 5% discount for my followers there. And they also offered me a 5% cut. And I got back to them straight away and said, no, I want the full 10% to go to these guys here. I don't want anything out of it. One, I don't want it. I don't want to make money off anyone giving me something for free. I appreciate they give me a spare battery. I don't want money off them. And two, I'm on an army pension. I'm on a veteran affairs pension. I'm not allowed to earn extra money because then it affects my army pension. You've got to start declaring it. I don't want to go down that path. It's a nightmare with the DVA paperwork and that. I said to them, I'm not allowed to earn money. I don't want money off you. So I bargained with them. I said, I want the whole amount to go. We have a company policy we're only allowed to do discount codes up to 8%. I said, well, that's fine. So when I do the clip, guys, if you want a lead time battery, which are very, very well priced, they're not that much dearer than the King stuff, but they're a lot cheaper than some of the big boys. And go and buy the American stuff. They're pretty good batteries. Soon find out, eh? Steve seems really happy with his lead time stuff. 8%. They said we can do a maximum. I said, that's it. So there's going to be a Mr. Buck 08 discount code for lead time. I don't get any cut out of it, everyone. That 8% is for you guys. So I went into bat and I said, no, I don't want 5% myself. And they said, the best we can do for your audience is 8%. I said, that's fine. So there'll be a Mr. Buck 08 discount code for lead time. I'm going to try and see if that Mr. Buck 10 or 05 is still with iTech World. I get nothing out of it, everyone. I know there's a lot of YouTubers out there that have got all these discount codes. They're getting a cut behind the scenes working in with that company. I don't get that. So if anyone thinks that's happening, it's not. I'm just grateful that I was given some stuff for free. And it saved me a lot of money, and I'll admit that, guys. You know, I was up for thousands of dollars to get this system up and running. I got a free battery. Yeah, I spent nearly $1,000 on a battery. I spent $199 on another iTech World item that I want to use in conjunction with that. And it's going to cost me some money to get a auto elec around to set it all up for me. That's not going to be cheap either. So that'll be coming out of my thing. Yeah, I know, Bretty. I know, I won't go down that rabbit hole, mate. I don't work with them anymore. You know that. So yeah, when you've got a company, guys, talk your own product up. Don't bag out. You know, if that's a Mr. Buckaroony hairbrush, which look what I did, guys. I shaved my head yesterday. I was sick of it. I shaved it yesterday, shaved my head, and I put my hat back on real quick. That bloody brush, if that's a Mr. Buckaroony doggy brush, I'll talk my own item up. I don't go, and if that's another dog brush there, I don't slag off that company. I just talk up about how good mine is. And that's what I wasn't going to talk about politics. That's what Dutton's doing at the moment. Instead of talk yourself up, mate, what you're going to do. Don't slag off the other guy. Talk up what you're going to do. We don't want anyone can stand up and slag off someone else because you don't like what he's doing. Talk up your own product. And that's what you should do when you're a company. Tell everyone how good your item is, what it can do, how long it'll last, and all that. Don't slag off the opposition. It's a bad look. So I agree with you. That's a good haircut. I'll tell you what, it feels good, Burko. It feels good. It really does. I looked at myself on that snake catching video the other day, and I just had this. The hair starts back there. She's gone now. I just got to come to reality that it's gone. I'm just going to, number none up the side and number one on the top. It feels good. Looks thing, but it's a good haircut. And the other thing, Burko, is I save on shampoo. So there you go. You'll see some clips coming up in the near future, guys, of the lead time batteries, lithium batteries, working in junction with the backboard's going to be all iTech World. I'm really looking forward to that. I don't have the knowledge how to set a lot of it. I'd probably set some of it up, but I want, just in case I need some extra fuses put in, I might need to get an auto elec around. The glare, Lynn, yes, I know. Yeah, but it does. I'll tell you what, it feels good when those brushes are brilliant, guys. Anti-dandruff brushes or whatever you get from the barber, they are brilliant head massages, guys. Get a number one crew cut and then just sit there and go like that on your head. It's the best massage you'll ever get. It's bloody brilliant. That's a potato head haircut. Yes, absolutely. But it was back there anyway, and it just looks silly having hair on the top of my head, and it didn't start till back there anyway. Yeah, just the last 5 years, my hair's just gone whooshka. Dad passed away at 87. He had a full head of hair. Gidgy has a number one crew cut, but if he grew his hair, he hasn't got a receding hairline. But he just has a number one or number none crew cut anyway, because it doesn't matter what he does with his head. He's ugly at the best of times. So Slacken said, I got my hair buzzed today. Number 2 on the whole head. Feels great. Send us a photo, Mark. I want to see it. Send us a photo. Now grow a beard. Yeah, I would. No, if I get about 4 or 5 days and I've got to have a shave, mate. I still like getting the razor blade out and have a clean shave every now and then. It feels good. I can't stand hair under here. It pisses me off. big time. So anyway, I've got nothing else to talk about now. When we start talking about my hair or lack of it, you know I've run out of things to say, everyone. So fantastic. I'll tell you what, that JS80 jumper starter that iTech, I think I bought it. I can't remember if I bought that. I bought some iTech World stuff, lithium batteries and that, and I've also been given some stuff. What I bought and it was too long ago. Can't remember if I was given the JS80 jumper starter or if I bought it. I honestly can't remember. I've used that numerous times now. They are a good bit of kit. Gone are the old jumper cable days and needing another car to jumper your thing. Jamil's car's battery went yesterday. Roz had to go out. Jamil's stuck. His battery's flat. So I gave Roz a quick Soldier's 5 on how to use the JS80. Plugged in, said, positive to positive, negative. Hit that button and then tell Jamil to start his car. Back comes Jamil. It started his car up. We put his car on the battery charger overnight, and he's away again. His battery's back. We did a recondition. Hopefully get another 6 months or something out of his battery. So that iTech World JS80, unbelievable bit of gear. I've got myself out of trouble with it when my alternator was starting to go, and I was towing the caravan at the time. Jamil and a few other cars that are downtown. I always keep it in the BT50. See people, oh, my battery's flat. Hang on, mate. Grab me jumper out. And you don't have to, remember the old days of going nose to nose and hooking the jumper cables up. Those days are gone now. Just get one of these JS80 jumper starters. They are brilliant bits of kit, and they're also fantastic for emergency iPhone charging and all that type of stuff. How do you like my new sign, everyone? The live on air sign. It's pretty good, eh? That was $27 or something from Temu delivered. I'll tell you what, it's pretty bloody good quality too. It's got a dimmer switch on it. On camera, the lights aren't the colours don't come up real well on the camera, but the microphone is blue and the outside's pink. The live on air and the stripes are pink, but the microphone's blue. It doesn't come up on camera, but the microphone is definitely really blue. It looks a lot better in real life than it does on the camera. It just looks one colour on that camera. But, yeah, it looks good, eh? It's pretty good. Yeah, so $27 off Temu. I might have created a monster, everyone, starting to shop on Temu. I know Snorky and Fuller started to get into Temu, and we're coming up with all sorts of bloody... Also, there's lights you can get from Temu, and you can put it up in the back of your tailgating, like the BT50, and have... It's like a... Yeah, the police have them on their car, roadworks ahead or whatever. You can type in whatever you want, and it comes up on the back, and I might go... You know, you can go, get off my ass, or, you know, back off, or don't be a diddly donk. I might do that. Get a don't be a diddly donk one and put it in the back of the BT50. So it worked. The lights, no, I think Roz has gone over. She got family down over at a mum's place. And one of the young boys got one of the Rafa books, and he's fascinated with Rafa. And Roz has actually taken Rafa over. So he's only a little fella. Roz's little nephew. He lives in Brisbane. Cody and Danny's Luella and Danny. Cody. Luella and Danny's buddy boy. So he's getting to meet the real Rafa today. He loves the book, and they keep saying you'll get to meet the real Rafa when you go up to Innisfail. So he's getting to meet the real Rafa today. So yeah, I shop. Kane Higgins says he shops on Temu. Good on you, Kane. I'm sure Temu was bloody happy to hear about that. Yeah, back off. Yeah, that could be a good one to put on there, Mark. Hey, anyone got any questions before I head off, guys, and have another coffee? Hope you're all enjoying your Easter. If you're out camping, make the most of it, guys. And some interesting topics this morning, eh? You know, voting. Should it be compulsory? Should pubs be closed on Friday? That was a yes. Voting was a yes. What else did we do? I can't remember what the other polls were. We haven't got a poll running at the moment, so there you go. What cook up today? No. Gidgey and Nutty are coming up next week, mate, I think. Gidgey's on his way to Townsville now, and then I think Nutty's got next week off, so him and Gidge are going to come up to Innisfail for a couple of nights, and you can guarantee there's going to be some big backyard cook-ups. Gidgey is if there's a guy who can cook in the Weber kettle, it's Gidgey. So we'll be doing some roast, some lambs and some porks and I try to encourage Ken to create a cooking channel called the Gidgy Gorilla Cooking or something like that. He didn't want to do it, guys, but that bloke can cook, let me tell you. He puts me to shame. He is very, very good and can cook up a mean roast in the thing. There you go, Mr. Bullet. Is he just come on, that diddly donk? I suppose it is early over there. Mr. Bullet's only just got out of bed, everyone. We did your poll, Mr. Bullet, and it was, should voting be compulsory? And it was a yes. I think it was in the 60s, wasn't it, or the 70s? I can't remember now, but it was a yes vote. Mr. Bullet was the one who wanted me to put it up. He doesn't agree with compulsory voting. Well, I think it was high 60s. Said yes, it should be. Mr. Bullet was on the can, everyone. He said he was awake, but he was backing one out and he missed the vote. So thanks for telling us that, Mr. Bullet. We wouldn't have got through the day without knowing that you were on the can and missed the vote. So Mr. Bullet was doing his morning routine, everyone. He missed the vote. It was a yes, mate. If you're wondering, it was about a 60-something% from memory. Yeah. Keep off the drink, Buck, when Gidgy arrives. Yeah, good luck with that one. He's every time you see him on Facebook, he's got a different picture of a different beer in his hand. I said, you're going well for a bloke who was going to give up drinking. You're doing real well, Gidge. Good effort, mate. Great effort. Unbelievable, that bloke. He reckons I'm an alcoholic. Dead set. Anyway, I like to keep people informed. Yes. We didn't need to know about that one. Rowan Martin, hopefully the wind is gone later in the week around Townsville so I can get the boat out for a fish before dragging it back to Brizzy. Yeah, mate, get out around. I'll tell you what, mate, if your boat's big enough and the winds are down, go out around Magnetic Island. Some of the coves and bays around Magnetic Island from a boat are stunning, mate. That island is underrated, I'll tell you now. On that north side of the island, there's a little bays and coves everywhere. Some of them are really secluded ones. Stunning. Absolutely stunning. If you want to do some really good snorkeling, go into Florence Bay on the north side of Magnetic Island and go in for a snorkel there. The batfish are massive, mate, and they swim all around you. The massive batfish, some of the best snorkeling there. Just incredible. No, Maggie Island, mate. Get over to Magnetic Island. Go into Horseshoe Bay, pull up on the beach at Horseshoe Bay, go up and have a beer or a coffee at Horseshoe Bay, and then just keep plodding around there's just some beautiful, absolute glorious little bays and coves on the north side. And they're quite sheltered too, mate. They're quite sheltered once you get in there. Just stunning. Like you just sit in there and you look towards the island and you think, this is North Queensland at its best. It really is. Maggie Island, very, very underrated. If you ever go to Townsville, everyone, go over to Magnetic Island. Go along the Strand and go up the Jazeen Barracks and all that type of stuff. Go over to Magnetic Island. That is a must. That is, if you're ever in Townsville, go to Maggie Island on a day trip. It's very, very worthwhile. Townsville itself, I don't particularly like Townsville, but when you get down on the Strand, along the beach there and go over to Maggie Island, very, very nice. Mark and I travelled down the Newell Highway yesterday, and the day before, hardly any truckie on the road, a few more caravanners than normal. There you go. Yeah, the truckies are, well, there's probably a lot of truckies out, but they're probably at home having Easter off as well, and they deserve to. They're away from home and whatever. So, you know what? This is the other thing I was going to do. Every live feed, I was going to do a shout out to some sort of job. Now, as you know, we're always saying to veterans, thanks for your service. We're always saying to police and ambulance and first responders, thanks for your service and thanks for doing what you do. And it's always some other jobs that don't get noticed, guys, that don't get a shout out. So, you know what? I'm going to start it off today. I'm going to start off with the truckies. I'm going to start off with the truckies and say thank you. We're going to do a thank you to some sort of job, and I'm going to start it with the truckies today. There's an old saying, without truckies, Australia stops, and it is true. And we only had to see that during the floods. When the trucks stopped rolling, things didn't happen. Mail didn't get through. Stores didn't get through. Our supermarkets emptied out. We don't realise how much we rely on the truckies, guys. Yeah, it'd be nice to have a great railway system up the Bruce Highway here and whatever, wouldn't it? But we haven't. We rely on the trucks. Yeah, they wreck the highways a bit and do a bit of damage because of their weight and all that type of stuff. But without them, we're stuffed. So thanks to all the truckies out there. I'll tell you what, when the roads finally opened during the floods here not long ago, it was just so good to see those trucks rolling through town. It really was. And I felt so proud, when you see the truckies coming through a town, people were lining, through Ingham, and truckies beeping their horns and that, getting stores through to cans, filling the supermarkets up again. Without them, we're stuffed. And they spend a lot of time away from their families. They're on the road all the time, everyone. A lot of you guys out there, you go to work in the morning, you come home, you're with your families. Those truckies spend a lot of time away from their family guy, a lot of time away from their kids, a lot of time away from their missus. It's a bloody hard life, living on the road, eating shit food. A lot of them living off bloody Chico rolls and stuff. That's why a lot of them are probably, because of their job, don't look after their health as much because they're eating out of bloody roadhouse food all the time, burgers and Chico rolls and stuff like that. So, it's the type of job where it's hard to keep your health in track too. So to all the truckies, thank you. I'm going to make this a regular thing now. Every live feed, I'm going to say thank you to another job. And if you're in one of those jobs out there, guys, and you think you're a bit underappreciated, like I know the nurses, we're not appreciated, but we're always saying thank you to the nurses. I'm talking about other people out there. So this week, it's the truckies. If you're a truckie out there, thank you. Google truckies, not trickiest. Yeah, going to do one day. Buck, can I still order Gidgee clothing from Ken, and how do I do it? Yeah, he's gone quiet on that. And so just send an email. If you want Gidgee clothing, everyone, he's still got it. I'm sure he's still got a heap of it there. He's friggin' hopeless, that guy. He really is. He gets so tied up with other things. And KJ Rogers 1970 at gmail.com. Send him an email to that. Send Gidgee an email and say, hey, Gidge, I'm after some polo shirts or some fishing shirts. The yellow and the pink long sleeve fishing shirts. I'll tell you what, I wore one to work the other day. I was getting some skin cancer treatment on my arms. I was wearing long sleeve shirts and that. And the Gidgee ones are really, really comfortable, and I like them because they got longer sleeves. When you're driving, they pull up there, but Gidgees stay down. The sleeves are slightly longer, so they don't creep up your arm. That's another thing that pisses me off. A lot of things piss me off. Long sleeve fishing shirts that creep up your arms piss me off too. So there you go. Send Gidgee an email. Say, mate, I'm after, what do you got there? I'm after a polo shirts. He's got the plain ones and the ones with the gorilla on. He's got different colors. Just send him an email and he'll let you know what he's got. He's got shorts and that as well. Let him know what size you are. Say, mate, I'm a 2XL in shorts and top. What do you got? And he'll get back to you and say, yep, I've got this, this, and this. So send him an email and see how you go. Bradley Howell just got out of bed, everyone. Brad's been in bloody bed eating Easter bunnies and eating bloody chocolate eggs all morning and has only just got out of bed at 11:04. Brad Howell, you sloth. I can't believe you just got out of bed. He's probably had a bloody dozen Easter eggs and now he's sick in the stomach. Buck the influencer. No, I'm not an influencer, mate. I'm just a bloody diddly donk having a crack. I hate that term, influencer. I don't influence anyone, mate. It's influencer. All these young Sheilas roaming around there, tits and ass hanging out, calling themselves influencers. They're bad influencers on young girls. That's the way I see them. I'm just sick of this whole social media has just been overtaken with females friggin' that seem to, are they not getting enough attention at home from their boyfriends or whatever? They're going to go and flaunt it on the internet. They're not getting enough attention. Just piss off. We don't want to see you there. It's just ridiculous. That's why I'm not on Instagram anymore, guys. You couldn't follow anything on Instagram because everything was just you know what, tits and ass. And I was just sick of seeing it. Ridiculous. The whole bloody social media now has been overtaken by that crap. And it's, you know, you go through your Facebook page and you can't even, I can't follow Steve from Saw Adventures and Paulie Martini's adventures and that anymore. It just gets lost in all the garbage that comes up on Facebook. If it wasn't, I'd be off Facebook. If it wasn't for me wanting to put out saying, I've got a charity thing coming up, it is handy for that, letting you people know what's going on. But if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be on Facebook either. So Mark said I am an influencer. I've influenced him to have a beer this afternoon. You know what? I have not got a beer in the fridge. There's not a beer in my fridge. I've been having a couple of scotches at night, just not during the week. I try not to drink during the week. So trendsetter buck. Yeah, there you go. Too much garbage on Facebook. Absolutely, Coffee. There is a lot of garbage on Facebook. There's some funny stuff on there, but my God, there's some, you know, now they're doing on YouTube, people do reactions to videos, which is fine. I don't mind watching some reaction videos. Now there's reactions, people reacting to that person reacting, and then they go and monetize their channel. Can you believe that? They're reacting to someone else reacting to a video and they're monetizing their channel and trying to make money out of it. It's pathetic. It is absolutely pathetic. And if before I go, has anyone seen any ads come up this morning during this live feed? Because if you have, I'll be pissed off again, because I do not monetize my live feeds, guys. I do not monetize them because I know it pisses. I sit there watching some live feeds sometimes and ads come up. And see, I don't want to see ads. I just want to watch the live feed. So I do not monetize my live feeds. And if you've been seeing ads, that's good. No, and nor should there be, because I do not monetize my live feeds. So you shouldn't be seeing any ads, everyone. I do monetize my normal video clips that you can watch. I get a bit of pocket money out of that, which might help me pay for some lithium battery I just bought and all that type of stuff. So, no, that's good. I was hoping you should all say that no ads have been coming up. I watch some live feeds and the ads are coming up and I'm thinking, come on, guys. The other thing you don't see is a thanks button down the side, because I don't ask people for money unless it's to do with charity, guys. When I do charity work, I come on, do a live feed, and I'll let you know. That's when I say, do anyone want to buy a raffle book and all that? $10 of the book will go to charity. That won't be too far away, everyone. That's going to be the next big live feed I do at night, will be the raffle book launch. And they must be getting close. They must be getting close to getting to me. So I've got 500 coming, hardback books. Anyone who buys a book gets a raffle sticker and a buckaroony sticker with each order. And on the book launch, we're going to have Snorky on, guys. Rob Richmond, who was the one who did the AI thing to get the book up and running. Without Rob, it wouldn't have been possible. And the other person who's coming on is Brett from SMG. And without Brett finding us a place in China that could do the books, do a good job and do them at a good price, it wouldn't have got off the ground. Trying to get them done in Australia, it would have fallen in a heap. We've got 7 books done, guys. The books look good, but when you've got to pay $25 without delivery, it would have been $30 a book. How can you make any money for charity when you're paying $30 a book? You can't. So we went to China. Brett got onto a great supplier. They did a fantastic job, kept us in the loop, and those books are going to be hitting the shores for about $5 a pop, unless Australia gets their greasy little paws in there and want to get tax money out of us or something. So apparently the taxes have already been paid from the Chinese end. So, but you know what? That company that did them sent us little videos and kept sending Brett videos of the progress of the books, and that cannot fault the service from that mob in China that did the raffle books. It was fantastic. It really was. And I said to Brett, wouldn't it have been good if an Aussie company could have done the books at a great price? But they were sending little videos and photos of it and giving us updates. And yeah, just back from an iTech World ad. You are shitting me, Bretty. I think you're pulling my leg now, mate. Rob's on. Rob, I'm about to go. Rob's just come on and I'm going. So see you later. Rob, will probably see you on the book launch. Brett's going to be on there, guys. Brett from SMG said, Buck, I don't normally go on social media and all that, but he said for the book launch, he said, I'll come on and I'll tell you now, whoever's on that book launch that night, it's going to be soon, has got the chance to win something pretty special. Something pretty special. Let me tell you, it's already been made. And I'll tell you now, when you see it, you're going to want one. That's all I'll say about that. All I've got to say about that, as Forrest Gump would say. So it's good. I've seen the final proof, and I'll tell you what, I give it the double thumbs up, guys. No, it's nothing to do with Nagi Island. A trip for two to Nagi Island. How good would that be? Just the amount of ride a Jibber, yeah. So anyway, Rob, who was it? Aussie came up with an idea for a next Rafa book. I was going to go Rafa Goes on Adventures, but he saw also Rafa's driving tips for diddly donks and just go all the stupid shit people do when they're in a car, and it's Rafa's tips on how not to do it. Like, make sure you stop at giveaway signs and don't indicate to go right when you're going straight ahead of the roundabout and all that stuff. A bronzed Rafa dog. How good would that be, Brad? A Rafa Easter egg. A Rafa-shaped Easter egg. I tell you now, there's probably a mob in China that could do. They get Chinese chocolate. I think I prefer to get Cadbury or something like that. Imagine, you get the rabbits, get a Rafa Easter egg. I wonder if that could be done. Can we get a Rafa Easter egg for next Easter? Rafa dog Easter eggs. That would be Rafa's dash cam channel. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, guys, I'll let you go. It's been 2 hours 16. That last time I looked, it was an hour and a half. Let's get going. I'm gibbering shit now. Enjoy the rest of your Easter. 2 footy games on today. Who we got? Titans and Canberra, Knights and Sharks. Both good games there. Titans need to bounce back, don't they? And then tomorrow we got Tigers versus Marky Lavell's Parramatta Eels. They need to win big time, Mark, tomorrow, the Eels, or they're going to get the wooden spoon again, mate. So see you later, everyone. See you, Slacken. See you, Mike, up there in Colorado. Slacken up there in Canada. Great chat. Yeah, hope you're well. Mark, send us a photo of your number 2 buzz cut, mate. If it looks anything like that, it'll be as rough as guts. See you later, Barker's eggs by the lawnmower. Yeah, I've hit a few of them in the time, Mr. Bullet. See you later. Enjoy the rest of your Easter, everyone. Thanks for coming on today, and I appreciate your input on the polls, eh? Who's going to get the shout out? The truckie's got it today. Who are we going to thank next week? Oh, we're off a couple of weeks. Roz and I are going to be the van's going. I've already booked in. I won't tell you where we're going, but we're going north. That's all I'm saying. See you later. Don't eat too many bloody Easter eggs, Brad Howell. See you.